Good morning. You're watching ABC News GH. This is ABC Headlines. I am Abuna Mante. Coming up, the opposition NDC's Enough is Enough demonstration against the Electoral Commission's refusal to accept its request to conduct a forensic audit into the voters' register is kicking off this morning from the Oba Spot in Circle in Accra. The police service has issued a caution. Still to come, Ghana has lost more than a third of its cocoa output for the 2023-2024 season due to smuggling, according to a senior official from the Cocoa Board, Reuters reports. We have these and many more coming up shortly. Do stay tuned. You're watching ABC Headlines this morning. The Ghana Police Service has asked the National Democratic Congress to strictly adhere to the arrangements regarding their nationwide protest against the Electoral Commission on Tuesday, September 17, 2024. The police have also asked the party to abide by all laws and regulations regarding the protest. Speaking at a press conference in Accra on Monday, Assistant Commissioner of Police Grace Ansah Krofi, Director of Public Relations, noted that the organizers have also been informed of their duty to abide by all other laws, since they will be held responsible for any breaches. We would like to urge the organizers and participants in the demonstration to adhere to these arrangements and ensure full compliance with all laws and regulations.
Act 491, and I would like to take a moment to read those responsibilities for our attention. Section 3 of the Public Order Act 1994, Act 491, and I quote, responsibility of organizers and other persons. 1. Where at any special event, any damage is caused to any public property, the organizers or any other persons found to have been responsible for the damage caused shall be liable to pay the cost of the damage. 2. Any person taking part in a special event shall obey the directions of police officers, safeguarding the proper movement of other persons and vehicles and generally maintaining order. 3. Any person taking part in a special event shall conduct himself in such a manner as to avoid causing confusion, disorder, or the obstruction of traffic. And these rules have been duly brought to the attention of the organizers. The organizers have also been informed that they have a duty to abide by all other laws, since they will be held responsible for any breaches. We would like to urge the organizers and also all participants in this demonstration to adhere to these arrangements and ensure full compliance of laws and all regulation. Now, our assurance to the good people of Ghana, the general public, we would like to once again give our assurance that the police will ensure the maintenance of security, law, and order throughout the period of the exercise and beyond. Thank you very much for your attention. We look forward to meeting you on the field. Unfortunately, because of time, we won't take questions. Tomorrow, I'll meet you at the demonstration grounds.
The National Democratic Congress NDC will hold a nationwide demonstration today, Tuesday, September 17, in protest against the Electoral Commission. The NDC accuses the Electoral Commission of refusing to allow for a forensic audit of the voters' register ahead of the December elections, after it alleged a number of anomalies, including illegal but mass transfer of votes in many places. The EC has maintained that all required corrections in the register have been effected following its exhibition of the provisional register, explaining that the whole essence of the exhibition of the register as demanded by law CI 91 as amended by CI 126 is to help with corrections. The NDC's national chairman Johnson Esiedun Ketia announced this protest on Monday, September 9, citing the party's concerns over the EC's handling of the election process.
Enumerate here, and you, the media people, were with some of our people who intercepted and retrieved one of the stolen BVDs. So far, we don't have any response. We don't have any feedback as to how the progress is being made on the case involving those who allegedly have been arrested here at your commission and so on. This all generates some amount of, crowd suspicion and all that. And so, those of you who have been asking us, if they don't comply, what will you do? This is your answer. On the 17th of this month, the NDC is embarking on a massive nationwide demonstration in all 16 regional capitals. Descend on the Electoral Commission offices, and we in Accra will descend to the headquarters and present further petitions as to what
voters register no buy no. You may be atosi our register no. Na say a person about one ekoye na asumdwe etra Ghana na e was election commission sorry eye omodwuma yie. E was omohwe sa register ni yie. Na enyoma enye ewo register no omohwe no musiesie nentem ansani atoaba nti NDC de ye chairman ene wa announce say ye beye oyekire bebia electoral commission office will be our district office sa prodia no NDC for sa da no ye be share entade na ya ye demonstration akoho say ye chiro madwin say register no almost sorry enya ho bibi. On the 17th of this month, NDC is going to demonstrate in every town that has an EC office. Our chairman has announced it. NDC, you wear your T-shirt and you go and demonstrate to the EC office so that we can put pressure on them to do their job and do what they have to do in order to ensure peaceful.
Flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has said that there is a need to use appropriate language in the campaigns ahead of the 2024 general elections. He said this while informing his counterpart of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, to conduct his campaign devoid of insults and verbal attacks. Dr. Bawumia said that the elections are not about insults and verbal attacks, rather about ideas. His comments come on the heels of a recent critique of the clergy, traditional leaders and civil society organizations by Mr. Mahama, accusing them of failing to hold the NPP government accountable for its governance.
Chabai, Unyana Muni, say Abaya ye kotui. Eye mini o ma penyi dada ena ye pri say ye betina akodi isu. Enya sa. Na said ye campaign ikon. Me say we be hu say sa campaign o be lusu poto. Enti bibi kakra na ni buefu. Mate say ene wako didi osofo on tem. We didi ahim for tem. We didi imams and tem. We didi CSOs for and tem. Or see omo nyina omo ye hypocrites. What way be that? Saka say na omampenyi dada simikasa. Say ahimfo imams osofo CSOs omo ye hypocrites. What way be that? Now saying so did the electoral commission at him. And then so I say MPP government a foolish government. Hey, what way be that? Where kasa ebe free omampenyin that enum. We must have limited at least some standards of decency in the language we speak as politicians. Election year enye ntem didie is about ideas. Only ideas are then you insult people. But who ideas are you present your ideas? Yet you were bold solutions to problems. We see a foolish government, but we have created more jobs than your government. We have built more roads than your government. We have built more interchanges than your government. We have built more bridges than your government. We have built more factories than your government. We have built more schools than your government. We have built more hospitals than your government. We have built more courthouses than your government. We have built more sanitation facilities than your government. We have built more astroturfs than your government. We have built more sports facilities than your government. We have built more fiber optic cable than your government. Every sector of the economy, we have done better than you. Now see a foolish government. Every sector, engine I may say, Uji Hundia, Branaya debate, one-on-one, many will
You're still watching ABC headlines. And business data collated from the three subsectors, banks, special deposit taking institutions, and payment system platforms indicated that overall, the count of fraud cases increased to 15,865 in 2023 from 15,164 in 2022, reflecting a 5% rise. These cases corresponded to a total loss value of approximately 88 million Ghana cedis in 2023 as compared to 82 million Ghana cedis in 2022, indicating an increase of about 7%. This revelation was contained in the publication of the annual fraud report by the Bank of Ghana, which sought to create awareness of fraud occurrences and trends identified within the reporting year, with a view to promote the soundness and integrity of the banking system. The 2023 report presents fraud typologies observed in relation to services provided by banks, specialized deposit-taking institutions, and payment service providers. Analysis of the 2023 data showed that fraud heightened in fraudulent withdrawals from victims' accounts, cyber or email fraud, and cash theft. Another area of concern is SIM swap-related fraud, where SIM numbers linked to banking accounts are fraudulently taken over and money subsequently withdrawn from the accounts. The BOG report said this form of fraud targets individuals who have banking applications on their mobile phones and have linked their bank accounts to mobile money wallets. And in our final story, Ghana has lost more than a third of its cocoa output for the 2023-2024 season due to smuggling, according to a senior official from the Ghana Cocoa Board. Reuters reports farmers facing delayed payments and lower local prices have increasingly turned to smuggling networks, which are becoming more sophisticated. Cocoa production in both Ghana, the world's second largest producer, and Ivory Coast, the largest, has struggled this season, contributing to a 4-year supply deficit that has driven global cocoa and chocolate prices higher. However, cocoa commands higher prices in neighboring Ivory Coast and Togo, where the currency is more stable and the sector is less regulated. By the end of June, Ghana has produced 429,323 metric tons of cocoa, which is less than 55% of the average for this point in previous seasons. Joining us on the phone is Isifu Isaka. He is the president of the Sefwi Cocoa Cooperative Union for a brief discussion on this report. Good morning, Isifu.
Hello, I can't hear you well, but if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Good morning, Mr. Isifu Isaka.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Sir, per this report, Ghana has only produced 55% of cocoa this year, which is really less than previous seasons. And we have seen that cocoa farmers are smuggling their cocoa out of Ghana so that they can sell in neighboring countries for good pricing. Mr. Isifu Isaka, why are you doing that apart from the good pricing that has been indicated?
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity this morning. The low decline of cocoa production in Ghana can be attributed to so many factors. And one of the factors you've mentioned, that smuggling, is true. But there are other factors such as climate change, which our weather determination are not there to be clear for farmers, and then other goes with the farmers seeing the cocoa sector not to be attractive. So most of them are leaving the sector, moving to other plantations like rubber farming. Others are going to cashew farming, oil palm plantation, and then even maize and other things. But with the issue of smuggling, the answer is that cocoa farmers do not do smuggling themselves. There are traders, there are businessmen, middlemen who are around the sector, who raise their own money, buy the cocoa, and then take the cocoa to other neighboring countries to make profit. And you witness with me that so many arrests have been made. There haven't been any arrest that comes out with a farmer. No cocoa farmer have been arrested. Always the people they arrest are the traders or the businessmen who wants their profit. So a farmer cannot just wake up and take 1 or 2 bags and decide to say, I want to send this cocoa to Cote d'Ivoire or Togo. So there are people within the cocoa value chain who do the smuggling. Just that some of the farmers are aware of it. For if you take the Volta region, for instance, with the price of Togo, which is around 8,000 to 9,000 per bag, it is possible some of the farmers at the border town can be doing the smuggling. But in the larger scale, the smuggling is done by the businessmen who are around the cocoa value chain.
Businessmen who have also turned into middlemen, and you know that when they buy from you, they smuggle through our borders, and it hurts our cocoa industry. Why are the farmers still selling to these businessmen?
You know, the farmers are not all that concerned because so many things are going on in the cocoa sector which the farmers are not happy with it. Particularly if you look at the condition of cocoa farmers, about decades, farmers have not been looking attractive in terms of the business. And most of the time you see other value chain living in good condition, having good access to water, access to hospital, access to school and other things. The farmers do not get this opportunity. So I would say that most of the farmers has lost their interest in the cocoa farming. So the low production is attributed to the fact that farmers have lost their interest, and most of them have left, and most of them too are leaving. And the youth, who are the future potential farmers that we can witness of, they are not also engaged in the cocoa farm. So definitely it's bound to happen.
But Mr. Isifu, recently the cocoa board has increased their monies, or how much they buy cocoa at the farm gate. Isn't this enough to cushion you so that this issue can be mitigated in a way?
This year is the worst price cocoa board have ever come out with.
Okay.
Because if you look at the price of cocoa pegging at 3,000, if you have a neighboring country who is selling not below 7,000 per bag, and you are selling at 3,000 per bag, it tells you the inconveniences. So what I'm trying to say is that even with this year, cocoa board should have paid farmers not less than 4,000, considering the international market with the New York Exchange and the London Exchange. So I'm saying that for this year, cocoa farmers look very bitter because of the price that cocoa board have come out with, and we are not happy with the price. So if cocoa board wants farmers to continue to be in the business, they should come out with good price and good incentives, which will motivate the youth to come into the cocoa sector. Other than that, farmers will continue to sell out their lands for illegal miners. Because at the end of the day, when he sells this land, he takes a huge sums of money. And so a farmer has been in the cocoa sector for more than 40 years. He hasn't done any savings. So these are the factors that we see affecting the cocoa sector now.
Thank you for speaking to us this morning, Mr. Isifu Isaka.
You're welcome.
So Isifu Isaka is the president of the Seshwi Bekwai Cocoa Farmers Cooperative. These are the main stories for today. I am Abuna Manti. Up next is ABC in the Morning. Do stay with us.
Attention business owners, it's time to take your business to the next level with ABC News GH Television's mega promo. From August 1st to October 31st, 2024, we're offering you unbeatable deals to advertise your products and services. Don't miss out on this amazing chance to reach more people and grow your brand. For more details, give us a call on 050-993-0360. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Follow us on social media at ABC News GH_.
Inventor Ghana Season 3 is here. ScanBrain Limited, organizers of the Best Inventor Ghana, has opened registration for the third season of this innovative show. Who can enter? Manufacturers of innovative solutions for daily use. Winner goes home with 5,000 Ghana cedis. First runner-up with 3,000 Ghana cedis. And second runner-up with 2,000 Ghana cedis. The show will be broadcast on ABC News Ghana Television. Best Inventor Ghana Season 3 begins on the 21st of September 2024 at the Assembly Hall of the St. John's Grammar School. Registration is open to everyone. Call us now on 054-955-4148 to register. morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. You're watching ABC News GH, and this is ABC in the morning. This is where we serve you breakfast, incredible information, credible news, what you need to start your day, what is happening in Ghana, what is happening in the world. It's not just politics here on ABC in the morning. Here we'll bring you some tech trick, and in Tech Trick, we are giving you some points that you need to know about technology. Yesterday, we took you through how to create a password and make sure that you are not hacked from your device or the social media accounts that you are using. We'll bring you football news. We'll bring you what is happening in the world of business, and we'll tell you what Ghana is saying on Ghana Speaks. I am Abena Mante. Thank you for joining us on ABC in the morning. And don't forget to connect with us. We are live on YouTube, ABCGH, ABC News GH. On social media, connect with us on @ABC News GH _. And we also want to interact with you, hear your thoughts. So WhatsApp us on 020993036. Today we'll be bringing you front story like we always do. And today, away from the issue of Galamsey, away from the issue of the degradation of our lands, we are looking at the banking sector and sanitizing the banking sector, seeing what is happening in the banking sector. And today on front story, we are looking at bank workers who have been involved in fraud cases as captured in the 2023 Bank of Ghana report. It says that the bank workers who have been involved in fraud cases have increased by a whopping 46%. This is a very worrying case, and we'll be delving deeper into it. We'll speak with analysts to understand what it means to our banking sector to have such a high number of workers involved in fraud cases. So these are some of the things we'll be bringing to you on ABC in the morning. And don't forget that this morning, today, September 17, the NDC is embarking on an Enough is Enough demonstration. And this demonstration is against the Electoral Commission. The NDC says that they need a forensic audit on the voters register ahead of the 2024 general elections. And because of that, NDC is hitting the streets across the nation today, and they are saying that enough is enough. Like I said earlier, I am Abena Mante, and this is ABC in the morning. Stay with us. ABC in the morning on ABC News GH. We are live on YouTube, ABC News GH. Do connect with us there. On front story this morning, data published by the Bank of Ghana in its annual fraud report has revealed that cybercrime is on the rise in Ghana, according to the Bank of Ghana's 2023 fraud report. The report reveals a 5% increase in fraud cases, with losses totaling 88 million cedis, and fraudulent withdrawals, cyber and email fraud, and cash theft top the list. SIM swap fraud also emerged as a growing concern, targeting mobile wallet and banking app users. We will dive into the details of this, but this is quite worrying. This is up by 5%. 5% may look small in certain sectors, but in the banking sector, 5% is too huge a percentage to sleep on. So if this is captured in the fraud reports that fraud has gone up by this much, it is something that is worth looking into. It is for this reason why we'll be speaking to experts on this issue to get more information on this and to see how we can sanitize the banking sector and rid it of these issues. I mean, even in 2017 to 2019, the Bank of Ghana was able to sanitize the banking sector in a way by cleaning up and amalgamating certain banks so that the banks were stronger on their feet and their knees were strengthened. Then I'm sure that this can also be done in the issue of fraud, because these are monies of Ghanaians who are well-meaning Ghanaians who are working hard to get some monies into their bank accounts. Otherwise, we will be moving into the point where people will start putting monies under their beds, which we have tried over the years to move away from. So we will look at what the issue is that is causing this 5%. But let's take a look at this report and what was captured in the report. So the Bank of Ghana's 2023 fraud report, this is a breakdown of the report, and it says that first off, staff involved in fraudulent activities up by 46%. It has moved from 188 to 274 cases. So staff who work in banks who are part or involved in fraudulent activities have moved up by 46%. They need just 4%, and then it is 50%. That is half of a full percentage. This is a very worrying thing to look at. Does it mean that when I send my money to the bank, I am not sure who is a fraudulent person in the bank? Am I sure the person handling my money, the person handling your money, is going to maintain the integrity of your money and not create any issue where the next thing you know, you are losing money from your bank account? This is quite worrying. Staff involvement in fraudulent activities up by 46%. The report also indicates that 77% of staff fraud cases have moved from 211 to 274, and it involved cash theft, up from 66% in 2022. Quite worrying again. This again shows staff involvement, persons who have been enrolled onto their bank's payroll and work for the banks. However, it looks like the monies they are getting from their banks are not enough for them, so much so that they are involving themselves in fraudulent activities. This time, fraud cases which involves cash thefts, and it has moved up from 66%. And that is very, very worrying. The Bank of Ghana is concerned about staff fraud and urges banks to boost controls, vetting, and ethics training. We know that before you can work in a bank, you need to get a police report to show that you are somebody who is in good standing. So if after all of these checks, persons who are believed to be in good standing can still fall into such bad and worrying habits, it is quite unfortunate that this has happened. So the Bank of Ghana is urging the banks to boost controls, control the banking sector, control your banks, so the people who have trusted you enough, and there are numerous banks in Ghana. However, Kofi, Ama, Adjoa have trusted ABC Bank to come and put monies there. So boost controls, boost vetting and ethics training, so that the bank workers, the bankers, know that fraud is criminal and they should not be engaged in it. The Bank of Ghana's annual fraud report also aims to raise awareness of fraud trends, promoting transparency and integrity of the banking system. And this is a good thing to do, to release such reports so that customers are aware of what is happening in the banking system. I believe maybe some people would not have known this if the report hadn't come out. But by virtue of this report, persons have been given the opportunity to be on guard, to be aware of their surroundings, to be aware of fraud trends. From 46%, from a certain percentage to 46% shows a growing trend. If hopefully next year it falls, it means that then it will be a trend that is falling. If unfortunately it rises, then we can see a certain trend in the banking system. So this report is a good one, is a step in the right direction to raise awareness of fraud trends and promote transparency. Now that I know that these are happening, when I get into the bank, I have all the rights to ask my bankers about what is happening, where does my money go, how do you work with my money, and what should I expect if I should bank with you. If a banking official meets me and says that, Abna, come and bank with so and so bank, I can ask them questions so that I am clear in my head about where my money is going, and to be sure that this bank upholds the highest standards in their work. And this report also looks at maintaining or raising the awareness of integrity in the banking sector. I believe that of the many sectors we have in the country, the bank is one of the places that should maintain the utmost integrity in their work, because you are working with people's monies, hard-earned monies that people have trusted you to bring to. At first, people would rather keep monies in their susu boxes, in their mattresses, and that their pillows, because they believed that they were the safest places. If I know where I have put my money, I know that you will not come for it. So the good book even says that where your treasure is, that is where your heart is. And obviously, money is part of our treasures. If my treasure is my money and it is even a CD and I bring to you as a bank, that is where my heart is, because one day I will come and ask for my money. I would need my money back. So the banks must raise, or they should maintain, integrity. The report also says that the 2023 data reviewed increased fraud in withdrawals, cyber or email scams, and cash theft. Other areas are the SIM swap fraud, which involved scammers taking over SIMs. Let's look at the cyber and email scams and the fraud in withdrawals. People have complained that their monies have been withdrawn by very unscrupulous people without their knowledge. I'm sure that every one of us knows at least one person who has been victim of this. One day they open their banking apps and they have a certain amount of money, they have X amount of money. The next day, there isn't any money in that account because an unscrupulous person has withdrawn money from the account and the banks could do nothing about it, so they have lost money. This was reviewed in the report. The issue of SIM swap fraud. A lot of scammers take over your SIM, and the next thing is they are withdrawing all your money. Because of the advent of banking apps, a lot of us have linked our SIMs to our apps so that we can be free to do the work we want to do. You don't want to board a vehicle just to go to the bank to go and bank. Because of that, most of us have signed up onto the banking apps of the various banks that we bank with. However, because of SIM swap fraud, the scammers get into your SIM, and the next thing, they are siphoning money out of your bank account through the banking apps. And these are some of the things that we have seen in the report. The report indicates that there are some of the issues when we are looking at the issue of fraud. Like I said earlier, we'll be speaking to experts who will help us do justice to this conversation and help us to know how to take care of ourselves in this issue of cybersecurity. A lot of us fall victim to cybersecurity because we are lax in certain ways with our security measures. Some of us by no fault of ours, but the experts will help us so that we do better and also stay on guard. We have some victims who shared their ordeals with us. They have also been victims of this cybersecurity fraud or fraud from the banking system. And let's take a listen to their voices. While we wait for the voices, the attempted banking fraud cases dropped from 59% in 2023, but losses rose by 29%. In this case, we can't see a correlation between them, causation, correlation. We're unable to see it. Some people, like I said again, unscrupulous people are tempted to do fraud. But those cases dropped by 59% in 2023, which is a good number. But losses rose by 29% to 72 million Ghana cedis due to a large foreign currency fraud. So foreign currency frauds also have found expression in this report. And by that, 29% losses were seen in 2023. In 2023, the losses decreased by 38% from the previous year, which is 2022, down to 26 million Ghana cedis, but the number of cases increased by 20% compared to 2022, reaching 12,166 incidences. Here we see this time a drop in cases, in cases and losses, which also decreased by 38%. The monies we are seeing here are huge sums of money, 26 million Ghana cedis. That's quite a number of Ghanaians losing their monies because of fraud. Fraud is a very worrying trend. Many people have been heartbroken because of fraud cases. Like I said, many of us would know at least one person who has fallen victim to these issues of fraud. And you know how it takes a toll on the person. Sometimes you start to question your ability to be very sound. You ask yourself, how did this happen to me? This looks like something that shouldn't have happened. You start to question yourself, so much so that you start to victim blame yourself because you believe that you could have done better. But there are some cases that you just couldn't have done. Unscrupulous people will always be unscrupulous people, and they'll do their best to always stay ahead, one step ahead of us. That is why banks are urged. Banks have been urged to tighten the controls in their banks, to make the work easy for the people who are bringing their monies to you. These are hardworking Ghanaians who have trusted our banks to give. Even if it is a CD, if it's 10,000 CDs, a million CDs, however small or large the amount is, the hardworking Ghanaian, the hardworking people have trusted your bank enough to bring you monies. It is saying that most of these banks are winning awards. You are winning awards because many people are depositing in your bank. They believe that you have some best practices. However, beyond the best practices, issues have been raised that banking or bankers are stealing from customers, and this shouldn't be so. Just over the weekend, there was a story going all over. Accountant at the Ghana Police Church who had spent so much money off the church. The church had invested their money to you, and I'll go back to the good book again. When the master was leaving, he gave to each servant some talents. So in this case, the accountant had also been given some talents. However, the accountant decided that this money I have been given, I was going to use it for my own personal gain. Unfortunately, it was used for stuff like betting. You know that betting is very addictive. It is one of the things that it's either you drink deep or you drink not. You put your toe into the water, and the next thing is you are swimming. And it's very unfortunate that that happened. These are some of the issues that are going around in the financial sector, in the banking sector, and it is a worrying trend, and it is something that needs to be stopped, and stopped ASAP, as soon as possible. And I would dare say it needs to be stopped now. To do justice to the conversation and give us more insight into this issue of banking fraud is Dr. Etu Ahen. He joins us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning on ABC in the Morning.
Thank you very much.
So what are the implications of the increase in fraud cases in Ghana's banking sector? What are the implications to us as a people?
Well, the first thing that one would think of is confidence level. Normally when certain things happens like that, it affects the confidence in the financial sector. So for me, the first thing that is worrying is the confidentiality and confidence in the industry, which can affect the system. That is the first thing. Then the second one is us, we want to have increased the unbanked to the banked. We have a large number of unbanked today. If not the mobile network, we will have a lot of unbanked. Once we have this frauding, it also deter people to go into the banked system. So these are the issues that we need to work hard on it and address it. But the good thing is that this thing has been on ever since I even joined the bank in the 84 thereabout. We always have these issues that people, staff, collusion, individuals, and some people have been doing this for very good, for bad reasons, as you use the good book. And Bank of Ghana has tried all the time to make sure that it create the awareness for Ghanaians to know that. Although it's an institution, but don't forget, any institution with human link. And I just heard your conversation, somebody in a church who has been entrusted to be man of integrity. He goes into the church and he steals money. And you can think, if you play into the open world, into the financial system, that is the real thing that you're saying. It is all over the place. The Bank of Ghana is trying to highlight it to us so that those of us who should be aware, awareness is very, very important, so that you can keep your documents, your ATMs, your PIN numbers, your SIM card. You always have to protect them, because the evil one is always parading around, even in the industry, in the financial sector or the banking sector.
There on bank to bank, we know that a number of our older folks, and I want to center on the older folks, are very skeptical when it comes to sending their monies to banks. They have done the things that have worked for them over the years. They put the money in their susu boxes, under their pillows, in a certain part of their rooms, and they have never lost money. In this issue where I take money to the bank and the next thing is there's a fraud situation, I've lost my money, and it creates a big disaffection against the bank, so much so that now if somebody else wants to send money to the bank, I said no, don't go. That's what these people do, steal your monies. These things are affecting the economy, because if there are no monies in the banks, the economy will suffer. What can the banks themselves do to increase confidence, like you mentioned, in the banks? Beyond what the Bank of Ghana is doing by issuing reports, what can the individual banks do themselves so that the confidence that they keep losing because of these fraud situations reduce?
Well, thank you very much. But don't tell people not to put their money in the banks, because of course they are safe. I mean, especially you say the older generation. I am one of the older generation, and I've worked in a bank all my life, and I would prefer to use a bank. But the question is that you're talking about security of your money. That is the reason why anytime you pick in a bank, you choose a bank, you must first be aware the level of protection, security. I mean data security, data protection. Those who work there, are them people of integrity, or they are men of straw or people of straw? I mean, this is the reason why the banks would always have to be very careful about those they employ. Because, you see, you cannot predict them. When they come to see the money, as I saw it in those days, you have to think first about the institution that has employed you, and the reputation of that institution, and what damage it does to the institution. So number one, I would say that the entry level, or in the course of the due diligence for both entry and the continuous due diligence for those who are in, should be up and be consistent. It does not mean that somebody goes into the bank, he's not a criminal. But when they go there and they see the vast of money, at times if you go to the vault, the dollar is there, the pound is there, the cedi is there. You know, if a person has no integrity, if the person has not been trained to know that he's just a custodian of the money, he can steal it. So the first thing is about how we get people into the system. How do we continually do due diligence on them, even when they are working for us? How is the security, the fraud risk system? How does it work? You know, every bank has got a fraud risk manual. How is the fraud risk manual works? Who takes what we call the segregation of duty? Who are these people who have been delegated to this function? And I always say that in this country, you go there and some people are doing national service and they are sent to a sensitive information. I know a bank, I won't mention their name, 2 years ago, a national service was put in a cash, I don't know, I think a place where you do the cash balances analysis. By the time they realized somebody from national service has stolen money, it was in the newspaper. Why do you put somebody? Because you don't want to pay for, you don't want to pay for expertise. What you want to use cheap labor. And the results of using cheap labor is what you see. You must up your game. Quality staff, people who have integrity, who have been tested and tried in the industry, or you bring them up, train them, and let them know that they are only custodians of people's money. Unfortunately, some of the banks you will bring the national service in, you will put them in statement re-edition, you go to CashLink, they go here, they go there. I mean, in certain institutions, in other jurisdictions, people who are not part of the system are not even part of the process. I mean, today, we're talking about cash collection. It is done by a third party. That third party company doing the cash collection, has it got the people who are, we could say, have integrity? So the problem is that the institutions need to up their game for how they employ people and how they keep their eye on them. Because the question is that the people plan the evil. The guy in the church, he saw that nobody was looking at him. So therefore, he decided to do what he liked. But if you keep an eye, if you have somebody who understands the system and keep an eye on them, you can minimize it. Because it's not good. Because this report has been coming since 1980s. All the time, Bank of Ghana does it. And it looks like it's not going down. It's not going down because the banks are too many now. Again, we are employing too many people. Number two, when we employ them, they don't go through the level of training and awareness of security. Number four, we are talking about technology. The PSP, the payment service providers, they are doing online businesses, but how secure is the line? How protected? How good is the line? People are selling so many softwares. They are not tried and tested. Because we want to do it, we go and buy it. And this is where you lend yourself to fraud and manipulation. So the issue needs to be tackled on a broader perspective, from bank level, both for awareness, security of your document, protection of your data, and all those things must be dealt with so that we can minimize this albatross.
Well, so looking at the payment service providers, I want to link it with the SIM swap fraud. A lot of the monies that people have lost have been as an issue, as a result of the SIM swap fraud. A lot of people lose their SIMs, or somebody hacks into their system and then takes over their SIM, and it looks like nobody is liable to what has happened. It's like you're on your own. You receive a certain amount in your money via whatever mobile money account you use, and the next thing you know, a scammer is calling you. It looks like there's a break in the security system when it comes to monies in our accounts and our data protection. Because why is it that certain people are able to get into our phones? people that we expect that shouldn't be able to breach a certain protection, a certain level of protection, they're able to breach them and get into our phones, and nobody is held liable for it. It's you and your God. You're on your own.
You know, let me draw your attention. Something that happens in especially Ghana and more of West Africa. We are interested in what we call digitization, talking about cyber, but people do not actually understand the risk of talking about digitization. What we lose out, what you're saying, it is true. Because if you lose your money in SIM fraud, it is you and alone. That is why even when they said everybody should register his SIM, SIM or register his national identity, the first question I ask myself, should somebody get hold of this data being stored by these people? Who is saved? And you see, nobody in this country, I can say it, how secure is the data where the MTNs and the telecos have taken us? How secure? What war system have they built on it, around it, so that people cannot penetrate? I mean, how the national identity card, how secure is that data? I mean, I'll give you a story, and not a story. It happened recently in UK, where they got up one morning. The whole electronic system has been jammed. Somebody has hacked into. Planes could not move. Trains could not move. Doctors could not work. I'm asking you a question. Should any of these things, somebody gets into the data center and hack into it, what will be our solution to it? 24, with the banks, within 12 hours, they were able to resolve it. The question you have asked a very valid question. And I think this question should be continuously be asking. Those are talking about these digitization, electronic, how secure are this? Because if the data you have collected is not protected and ring-fenced very well, somebody will be sitting there, hack into it, get the SIM number, or get your ID, your national, and then get the money. And when you find yourself at that point, who do you get to? Because the problem, the banks will tell you that. They will tell you, we didn't do that. And you also don't know where. So, you see, there is a first level protection that I believe, especially anytime we are talking about configuring our systems, like do Ghana data, do your telephone system. The first thing that the Ghana cyber security should hire experts from abroad to come and test how secure is this data on their servers. I'm telling you, because it happened in UK recently. I don't know if it can happen to us. And if it happened to us, like you're saying, who are you going to complain to? People are hacking into the data. They are stealing people's SIM card and doing it, and doing the transaction. And when you are on, you're on your own. Number one, because we think of marketing it first without thinking about the risk associated with it. And it is very, 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 very sad. It's very, very sad. We're going to a position, one day, we'll get up and somebody has hacked into the whole telephone system or the whole national identity card, and we are finished. I don't know what they have done, and I don't know how. You see, they always want to project what we are doing, the benefit for us, some of us, the laymen. But those of us who understand risk, fraud risk, cyber risk, technology risk, information risk, anytime I hear that, and I'm worried. I'm worried. Because somebody somewhere is sitting somewhere. All that he's doing, how do I get into their system and hack into it and take data and make use of the data? So what you're saying to me is worrisome for me and you. I mean, the way you express it, the same thing I've been saying it every now and then. So for me, you know that even my level, I don't even have ATM card. I don't have any. It is only when I'm traveling I go and get a card to go and pay the visa, and when I finish, I destroy the card. I say I don't use it again because I'm afraid that one day I'll get up in the morning, somebody would have hacked into my account and taken all my money. The pensioner, I don't have the money. The little that I have, somebody would have taken it. So once we are talking about this electronic system, the first thing that comes to how secure is the data. There is a bank in this country. I won't mention the bank. Do you know where they host their data for the whole globe? I mean the whole world. They have it in Dubai. So if you sit in Ghana, that bank, and you cannot enter, either electronic or anything, enter into their system. You'll be found out instantly. But if you go to some of the institutions, piecemeal buying from shop, buying from vendor shop, buying it from Ghanaians who are talking about it, we think you're safe. But you're not safe because your data is not secure. Your data is not protected. So your question is very, very relevant. And I hope you can throw this question to those who are in position to say that all these things that they are doing, how secured is our data?
So before
and
you
go, see the answers they tell you. Okay. You may not have any good answer because they don't understand the risk, fraud, the risk parameters in the electronic systems.
Right. So before you go, since 2004, Ghana has been blacklisted on the PayPal platform because of fraud activities that PayPal tracked on the platform coming from Ghana. How can the Bank of Ghana reinforce our banking system so that such platforms that would have added up to us as a people, because if we were using that platform, our banks will benefit from it, and us being with our being blacklisted from the platform, it throws a certain image to the rest of the world that these people are not to be trusted in their system.
I think the PayPal platform is now being opened up to some of the institutions.
Yes.
I think now it's not just blacklisted. Yes, some have been allowed to go in. Yes. I know a couple of the banks are going on.
But what is important?
Yes, what is important for your question, very relevant, is that it's just like the things we said. How secured, how protected? How can we prevent third parties, people who are not authorized to do it, to go into the system? That is the first thing. Your first level of defense is to make your security to the highest level. That's PayPal system. And Bank of Ghana should ensure that that system become a ring-fenced, or now I won't use the Chinese wall because now not Chinese wall. You need to have a tough wall around those systems so that, like SWIFT, I mean, if you know Society for Wealth and Financial Telecommunication, it has its head office in Belgium. It's been operating since 1978. What they do is that they pay people to hack into the system every day, every night, so that you can build the walls around it. And SWIFT has been operating since 1978 from Belgium for almost all the banks. It is doing well. Why can't we replicate what SWIFT has done? What is it there that SWIFT is doing that central bank or people in West Africa or Africa can do? We don't want to pay for quality service. You see, mediocrity is what is killing us. You don't pay for excellence. If you pay for excellence and you go to SWIFT, tell them that, look, Charlie, we want to see your systems. We want to build our systems up to your systems. There are institutions which operate in Ghana, operating everywhere. They will help you. But we won't go there. We will create a name and create a path for people. But once you create it, those in IT, they are brilliant. They are intelligent. Fraudsters are very good. They sit there and look at the loopholes and then they come through it. So for me, there is a standard method for us. Why can't we go and replicate or tell them to help us to build the same system? If we do that, the paying system in the PayPal is one of the best things that would have happened to Africa. So that you don't pay CDs, you don't pay dollar here and there. In Ghana, Nigeria, you do it, the CD, then Nigeria will get its money. I mean, that is one of the best things that could happen to Africa. But you see, we don't want to spend quality, expertise, knowledge to help us to build that system. If we do it, so be good for us.
Right. Thank you for speaking with us this morning, Dr. Atuahene.
Thank you too.
We're grateful for your time. Dr. Richmond Atuahene is a banking consultant. He's thrown more light in what we need to do in our banking system to get better. It is quite worrying that, like he said, since the 1980s, these things have persisted. Many of you were sick and you went to the hospital and your symptoms persisted even after you had been treated. And every year or every month, you return to the hospital with the same ailment, the same same thing even after all the doctors had done. The doctors will now be worried. They'll be very worried and will want to look deeper into what is happening. If these issues of fraud have been persisting since 1980, we have a long way to go to make sure that we rid them of it. We understand that some evils, for want of a better word, are things that persist, but they should be the little things, like the little foxes, something that once a while rears its head, but it shouldn't be the norm. It shouldn't be the norm because it reduces confidentiality level in the system. The grandma or the grandpa who already is quite hesitant to send their money to the bank, if they listen to some of these things or they have been a victim of this, it means that their monies will never go back to the bank again, and we do not want that. The best place to put your money in is the bank, because in your home, your home can burn down. If an unfortunate incident happens, anything can happen and can destabilize you. So it will be very sad that if I believe that the bank is the place where I will find some security and stability, fraud shouldn't be happening there, because otherwise, who am I to trust again with my money? Who am I to trust again with my hard-earned money? The money I have made after the end of the month when I have worked hard. That pensioner who has received their pension comes to the bank and says that I want to deposit this into my savings account, should be very confident that in their savings account their money is there and is there. So this is what we have brought to you on Front Story this morning. We have looked at the banking sector, especially Bank of Ghana's 2023 report, fraud report, which revealed that fraud cases increased by 46%. But number of bank workers involved in fraud cases increased by 46%. We hope that in the 2024 report, the numbers will be lesser than this, way lesser than this. Moving away from Front Story, we want to look at trends, see what is trending in Ghana this morning. Godday, my colleague Godday or Godwin is on standby to give us what is happening in the world. Godday, how is it going in trends?
Now, good morning to our viewers and welcome to ABC in the morning. This session is the trends and sports session, and we are bringing you all the latest you need to know and what is trending on X. So today we have Samia Wuku. He is the Director General of National Lottery Authority trending, and also we have the Electoral Commission and Enough is Enough trending. That is a hashtag by the National Democratic Congress. You realize they are having a demonstration against the Electoral Commission based on their request for the EC to permit them to have an independent person doing a forensic audit. So, from trends, Samia Wuku is trending because he said, Samia Wuku said, the betting tax, the 10% betting tax that the government came up with has not been implemented. He made this comment on Oyerepa TV. So let's watch what he said and we will come back to it.
We firmly believe so. Because the truth and the reality is that even with that, we haven't been able to implement it. I'm telling you today. We haven't been able to implement it. When me as Director General for National Law, we haven't been able to. Because, first of all, we have a very wide system of illegal markets. Okay. So you don't even know them for you to go tax them. So we had a sit-down meeting with GNRA. We've been having questions over the last 8 months and with the Ministry of Finance. And we said that, they say, yeah, Gioma. The ones, even recently, when the NLA was forcing the known private lotto operators to come so that we license them, you had the heat on the streets. Now that you have licensed them, it's now that you can go back to them and then get and have preparation. Say, how do we collectively still support government? Make sure that you don't kill your business, make sure you survive, NLA survive, but still generate enough for government. This, for me, is where we are. But we haven't been able to collect even a city.
You haven't been able to collect even a city?
No.
So is it the case that 10% in Enyejuma?
But here, I mean, GGB.
The when I said GG.
Well, they wrote to me that has the
when I saw GG.
Director General, no, GG.
And I was want to mean GG.
I mean, GG because the framework, was difficult. Because look,
and no more mutual bets, won't see almost 10%.
No, because we are still in discussions with GRA and Ministry of Finance on the modalities.
I see.
Because the truth is, first, you didn't even know them.
This is news to me.
Yeah, we just licensed them. We licensed them 2 weeks ago. And it's estimated that you have over 380 illegal operators. They are still unknown.
Interesting revelation from the Director General of National Security. He is saying they've not licensed most of the lottery agents and also agencies that we have in Ghana, including the people are also saying they suggest or they think maybe some of the betting companies have not been licensed, and the betting companies like SportyBet, Betway and stuff, those ones are taking the 10% taxes. So we have Sami Nana. He goes by the name Nanayao Sami. He is saying, I'm so sure he is referring to lottery alone, because that's the only place that he can say. He don't know the people into it, so it becomes difficult to trace them. But for sports betting, they are all over and easily to track them. And also, we have Concerned Citizen. He is saying, so which betting tax is Bawumia saying he will take off? Hey, MPP, what have we done to you guys? Is it a mistake being a Ghanaian? God have mercy on us. And we also have Kofi James. Kofi is saying, ask the boys that they have been collecting 10% from. So Kofi is referring to the betting individuals, the people who stake bets on SportyBet and sports betting. And we also have the NDC and Enough is Enough trending. So the Enough is Enough is about the NDC requesting EC to allow for a forensic audit of the voters register. And with that one, we have the NDC's National Communications Director, Sami Jemfi, Sami Jemfi is saying, don't miss the historic Enough is Enough demo against the Jim Mensah Electoral Commission, which comes off tomorrow. So the tomorrow he's referring to is today, Tuesday, September 17, 2024. In all regional capitals in the 16 regions in Ghana at 7 a.m., So the demo is currently ongoing, I guess. And the converging point, he says, a greater Accra region is Kwame Nkrumah interchange with the hashtag protect my vote, audit my voters register now, free fair election, and also Enough is Enough demo. We also have General Marcus. General Marcus is saying, serious-minded Ghanaians are standing with the NDC in calling for a forensic audit of the 2024 voters register. The EC must act in the interest of transparency and ensure free and fair elections. Enough is Enough demo. Samia Uku and also Ashanti Region and Otumfuo has been tagged. And also we have Abdulrazak Asugri Solomon. Razak is saying 2,094 voters transferred their votes in 2024, but their details are not contained in the 2024 absent list but their details are not contained in the 2024 absent list for their respective polling stations. And he has the hashtag protect my vote, just like Sami Jemfi tagged. And we also have Mr. Mausi saying, We can't afford to fail our generation by allowing EC to rig these elections. We also have Alhaji Nas saying, Bosman Asare NPP, Jane Mensah NPP, the IT guy NPP. But the same EC says we should trust them to deliver free and fair elections. And we also have Raymond Eden Tamaklo saying the Electoral Commission must endeavor to at all times engender public confidence and trust in its processes as it's necessary for our fledgling democracy, whom ultimate power devolves, must ensure that our votes are protected by any means afforded us. We march tomorrow. The tomorrow he is also referring to the trends that the Electoral Commission is also part of. So everywhere they mention the Electoral Commission, it means the more enough is enough, the more is part. And now that brings us to the end of trends for today. Now we move straight into the world of sports. So in sports today, we have CAF President Patrice Motsepe. He is saying nothing frustrates him more than national teams playing home matches outside their home countries. He made this comment at a conference yesterday where CAF committee members and executive committee,
There's nothing
executive
that
committee members met
frustrates
at Nairobi, Kenya, to have further discussions on the AFCON 2017, where it will be played. It will be hosted by Kenya and Tanzania. So he made this comment saying, nothing frustrates me more than national teams playing home matches outside. His comments come after CAF banned Ghana from hosting home matches at Baba Yara Sports Stadium, the country's only approved venue, due to poor condition of the pitch. This decision places Ghana among several nations forced to play outside their borders. And Motsepe was vocal in his criticism during a meeting in Kenya, which Ghana FA President Kurt Okraku attended. Let's listen to what he said at the press conference.
Countries that plays out. There's nothing that frustrates me more than a national team or a football team from Kenya, bad example, because you've got wonderful facilities, but from a country to go and play outside. You can't build football in any country in Africa if the national team or the football clubs do not play in front of their nations. And that's why the passion of President Ruto and his commitment makes me so proud. Makes me so proud. And he doesn't just love football. You know, when I went to see Talanta, they said the president has been here himself to investigate and to see the work that's been done. So I'm very clear that we've made good success in reducing the number of countries that plays outside their nation. But you know, in every meeting I have with the head of state, and that's why, you know, the relationship between NIC and the government, it's something that I'm very happy about. Because in every country, the emphasis is, let's work together to make sure that we've got at least one stadium that's at the FIFA and CAF standards. There's nothing that frustrates me more than a national team.
That was the CAF president, Patrice Motsepe, talking about countries playing outside their home countries. And still on countries playing outside their home countries and also having bad stadiums, Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, Member of Parliament for North Tongu, has accused the government of squandering over 85 million Ghana cedis on stadium maintenance over the past 5 years, with little to show for it. This follows CAF's decision to ban the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in Kumasi, Ghana's sole approved venue for international matches. Consequently, the Black Stars are now seeking an alternative stadium abroad for their upcoming qualifier against Sudan. In a series of local media posts on X, Honorable Ablakwa alleges that a significant portion of these funds was channeled to companies linked to Kelvin Ofori-Atta, a relative of President Akufo-Addo and former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. According to Honorable Ablakwa, millions of taxpayers' cedis were paid to renovate the Esipon Stadium, Ohinijan Sports Stadium, and Babayara Sports Stadium, yet the quality of work remains questionable. Ablakwa provided details on the expenditures, and according to him, 41.9 million Ghana cedis was spent on Esipon Sports Stadium. The contract was awarded to Sesdan Company Limited, owned by Kelvin Ofori-Atta, and payments totaling 6.8 million Ghana cedis were made by October 2023. Ghana cedi 24.4 million was expended on Ohinijan Sports Stadium. Agreement with Kube Ghana Limited, also owned by Kelvin Ofori-Atta, was made. Payments of 11.2 million, were made shortly after the contract was signed, and 21.1 million was spent on Babayara Sports Stadium. Contract was given to Javkia Limited and were certified by the Ministry of Youth and Sports, but the stadium still shows no sign of improvement. It is showing signs of neglect. We will bring you a detailed breakdown on this during ABC Midday News this afternoon. So stay glued to your screen and we will bring you more on that. And that is all for local news. Let's do some international stories where we head straight into Europe, where the long-awaited UEFA Champions League new model kicks off today. And today, for the kickoff, we have several matches coming up. So, in UEFA Champions League, we have Young Boys, FC Young Boys facing Aston Villa. FC Young Boys is playing at home. Juventus is playing at home with PSV Eindhoven. And we have AC Milan playing at home with Liverpool. Bayern Munich is also playing at home with GNK Dynamo Zagreb. And we also have Real Madrid playing at home with VfL Stuttgart from Germany. We have Sporting Club de Portugal also playing Lille Metropole. We have Sparta Praha also playing RB Salzburg, And we have Bologna playing Shakhtar Donetsk. We have Celtic playing Slovan Bratislava. And we have Club Brugge playing BVB Borussia Dortmund. And we have Manchester City hosting Inter Milan. We have Paris Saint-Germain also hosting Girona. This is the first time Girona is featuring in the UEFA Champions League. We have Feyenoord Rotterdam hosting Bayer Leverkusen. They went unbeaten last season. And we have Red Star Belgrade playing Benfica. And we have AS Monaco hosting FC Barcelona. We have Atlanta hosting Arsenal. And we have Atletico Madrid hosting Leipzig. And we have Stade Brest hosting Sturm. This is the first time Sturm Graz 2 is featuring in. They won the Austria Bundesliga. And that is all today in the world of sports. I will hand over to my colleague Abna to continue from there. I am Godwin Opoku-Ochre.
Kaneshie Guest House opposite the Kaneshie Market Complex. Where I'm standing currently, there is a heap of rubbish behind me that is impeding the incoming big vehicles to be able to maneuver their way through and pick passengers. So behind me, there are a group of passengers waiting for vehicles to go to either Accra Kiswe, Circle, or wherever they find themselves. So the incoming vehicles are using the street, but there are vehicles that are supposed to pick the passengers right behind me. But because of the heap of rubbish behind me, they are unable to maneuver their way through the lane that is here. So there is a heap of rubbish behind that is really preventing the people from being able to get down. And then because of the incoming vehicles, this place that I'm standing is a bus stop. So there are light passengers right here, and because of the rubbish as well, it is really preventing the vehicle or car owners to be able to park well and be able to let passengers alight whilst other passengers board the car to other places. Hello, Epifania. So we are still here in front of the Kaneshie Guest House, opposite the Kaneshie Market Complex, where there's a heap of rubbish behind me, and there's a long queue here. This is really creating a human traffic and really preventing people that are either passing, standing by, or even selling to not be able to have a comfortable lane. So where I'm standing exactly, right beside me, there are couple of people here selling their waste and everything, and there is a long vehicle here, people or passengers waiting for vehicles that are coming from the First Light and Odoko. So because of the heap of rubbish behind me, it is really creating chaos and human traffic. When the vehicles alight here, this is a bus stop, off from the bus to get down, and people to be able to alight and then get back to the vehicle. It really creates confusion, and then human traffic really meets up here. So that is the situation that is currently going on here, right here at Kaneshie Market. Good morning, it's time for traffic check on ABC Market Complex. Where I'm standing currently, there is a heap of rubbish behind me that is impeding the incoming.
So Andy has brought us traffic check, and away from traffic check, we want to hear what Ghana has to say, what the Ghanaian people have to say ahead of the elections. Your voice matters. That is why we bring you Ghana Speaks.
Times are hard in Ghana, extremely hard.
As we gear towards the 2024 general elections, there have been conversations around having a presidential debate. Will it happen or not? This is Ghana Speaks.
In the various constituencies, in the 275 constituencies across the country, for them to assess their parliamentary candidate ahead of the 2024 elections. This is Ghana Speaks, and today we are live from the Ablekuma Central constituency of the Greater Accra region, where it is going to be a fierce contest. The NDC are presenting a sitting MP for him to vie again to compete and win the seat for them come December 7th. While the sitting or the current or the incumbent NPP is coming back with a candidate, a very young candidate, in the person of Jefferson Saki, to rival the NDC's Abdul Latif Dan in the Ablekuma Central constituency of the Greater Accra region. This gentleman here will be helping me to put into perspective the prowess and the abilities of these two candidates ahead of the 2024 elections. You're welcome to ABC News Ghana, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Pacho, Ubebo Dina Yatwaso. Pacho, your first.
Pacho, your friend Jackson, Mr. Jamra. Jackson Jamra.
Jackson Jamna. Pacho, your first.
Your friend Richard Kofi Edi.
Richard Kofi Edi. Pacho.
Your friend Richard Osu.
Richard Osu. So I have two Richards here. Sakura. All right. Pacho, your first.
Your friend Abroso.
Right, so these are the four gentlemen that will be helping me to put the two candidates, the two main contenders of the Ablekuma Central seat through the needle. Right, so Ejam Pacho, yan chance here in free ho. Ablekuma Central about one and it doesn't go one way. It will matwama NPP, matwama NDC. NPP were in power in 2016, but they lost the seat in 2020. 4 years, they are coming again presenting Jefferson Saki. Say only Abdul Latif Dan Embe Pre now on Munsanji seat in Ibium. Okay, Jefferson Saki, is it someone that can take this seat away from the NDC?
A perfect in our dear mameno. Who say Jefferson? Obet me every ama when you more votes. I didn't tell me kasa. But who say ukura or the energy strong could be about constituency wo. And who say we are very vibrant. But be a woman. For instance, I was so kind. Who say or nanti or a campaign. And then the campaigns no a direct. And now wasenya enipa party no woman no ni leader no dinach no eye Dr. Bawumia no so no apeja no amini so betimi awieni ni kakra eye yentia MPP elusu wo mo seat no na aye internal ibi kakra ho eye MP no a no wo so no I forget his name Ebenezer. Within party nankasa na wentwe bi wom ena ma Latif efa ho na Latif no so no okoye no what is snake under grass ahan me say ya wo ni e ka say MPP ko for pa na wo but say no presenting no ba ye no tam na wonya power no wonam ha no pacho monto ma me mo be hu sisan me and this ni de and the people thought say the no ye no sa no be ye. But only we and go for no. After one must have you. No be was this deceive no be no. Me made you Jefferson said, or the energy so come and the back of this 20 and you should be winning.
Abdul Latif, 4 years, 1 year, 4 years, within the 4 years. Ni modern boy, Senate here or
on the zero. You come out in body a zero.
Why we say zero?
Oh, but who say on you Eben Adia, honorable Eben Adio Bayeno, Ujatwan, and no, on ye be get tobacco on ye. I'm a meeting as you are a boho, Bakuyama, Zungo Fono, and no apart from no who be PI, and the minister, Nini crowd if you achieve some MP or Hania friend, then cry minimity. Who say, we need you had that. Johnny didn't cry into one quality shadow or Yanchuka wa yo about 2024 or lose.
Jefferson, Abdul Latif Dan. The two candidates, which one is now GD or bit me aboa Ablekuma Central?
Mimi Abroso, the American say Jefferson no or Jimmy Pahon. Say Oshe means sending Fanso here. If you be here, if you for Nimpo Sabi, no me NDC for and so if you see no anaduna if you see an opportunity to not Jefferson even though MP nimpo ko mu vote to man say candidate na say NDC for no mo ye no ko ama mehwempo so I say Jefferson or drink for ho even though MP even okozongo junction traffic light na say akwani nyina tutu obeka say MP mpo ni ha ade na yeso anya sa sabi even though ninuanu Muslim for mpo kwa Ebenezer born no modern eye adwuma ma no mpo no zongo Sukura market up to now you bet me nim akwa on fa blog ba kumpo blog kro mo di si kwan no kra no mba ho mpo so twem yes ade no MP mo wa unuanu Muslims ni Christian Ebenezer a Christian so the Muslim for won say see enya market Sukura market mo so Muslim awaba no say enya wa ban na also so uji pay
but enya say na ban ni so fine but osha the work of an MP no development within the area mostly of the MC or the DC that does those things. MC you need DC funding a yes and to add it up no on saying the president he's more like a hanging MP. Anything that maybe on to me yasani mana
oh say sabi obitimi wu ana obi ya adore obitimi obi ya adore now MP to ko 10,000 mano na dey na 10,000 no fa mbo shares ma gadi fo na patampo a fa bono se ufri ai zongo junction ko Sukura because of road na ya blocking into amaka ntimi nkam just ko konwan ko fa hospital na nim answer na se utimi cheni pa be 10,000 kwa ya anya 40,000 so betimi da bo patampo da ma market woman ama main road na dam and so utimi ka say anya wa ban na woso ntino eno nitimi so yes a na che so ubeja na so ubeku ye
okay that's it
okay na wo ka say woni enya president na wo so na eno de menyintu because we MP a unso no common fund bounce and at the same time so ubetimi akwa outside no mobilize sika kakra enye bibia na be kasa aban enti ye hu se sa modern boni koso dia na hu modern e wo se utimi kwa outside na hu negotiate ne bi kakra na wo de ba e ba de wu ye de a wo koche wo hwe nipa de a ye tuma se wo se president ni so
but I say Mr. Richard Mamimba so obi akasebi we share two candidates now. Jefferson Saki or a new person, or a new person, and I feel no bad for. We should do Ben Amu say they are done at the year. More much when Yanji or the catch them say, oh, may say, and I'm a 2 man. Oh, yeah, one should be. Then confidence Ben Amu or Jefferson will say, on your son, man, be.
And you say you were MP, but MP no, the report will be a command. Report can say, Kanishi got us no amount for a turret. I insure and now got them insure to amount for TTM. Ya report to Sa will be a more. The report to my MP no, the car will be a more. Main public turret. He say, turret, Awamina, Yadasia got them. This insure to yare insure to our own in the ma yare.
Say, Gata no, any MP na money if you.
But ya report and say, adi we na amount for ye soccer we no da beto got any na nsuo na we bie nsuo no na ekọ asewa amount for the 198 year ma yare ene ye say yaraba more na ye sa torrent na ye de ye wan so soccer we no enti no ya report obi amua since ye to abanama MP ye hu ne da Kaneshi abekuma we Kaneshi area ye hu ne da ye be da ye di medi hu na say o take am o become o start any campaign eti me say we all buy just all buy there me say we need your baby because no here report to be channel pa o di me cannot no wa ba be hwe nan say yo aboso kan o de abobo ya mensa o de ama say bola ni ade ni yin bola me why there? Nioma bebre otumi se why ono kra mpa onye MP na ofe na obampo no wabɔ ne ho mmɔden nti mp ni deɛ yɛ mp na ɔte so no deɛ ɛnna menyini sɛ 2024 deɛ ɛsɛ ɛdɔ bɛsɛn awie.
Okay. Now woka bibi sɛ mp no wɔnyɛ hwee wammɔ mmɔden ɛna ade. What is the confidence say Jefferson will deliver his promises and I know so about baby?
O kasa no bisa mi nane sɛ Jefferson no den na owo no mu a sɛ ɔba obetuma ayi bibi.
So that was Ghana Speaks. Like I told you, your voice matters. That's why we are bringing the microphone to your various constituencies so that you tell us what is happening there ahead of the 2024 general elections, what you're expecting, especially from your member of parliament. My colleague Sami came from the Ablekuma Central constituency, and the people of Ablekuma have also had their say on what they're expecting from their MPs come the 2024 general elections. Away from Ghana Speaks, let's take the business fix. Ahead of the 2024 general elections, which falls within the festive season, we know that there are so many things that we need as a people, and also the things we need also affects the industry. One of such industries is the food and beverages industry. We eat every day, we drink drinks every day, whether juice, whether processed drinks, whatever it is, we are eating every day, and food is one of the constants in our lives as a people. So today we want to delve into the food and beverages industry to find out their problems and prospects, especially ahead of the elections and ahead of the Christmas, the festive season. Let's see what they're expecting to happen in the industry to make their lives better and also translate into the lives of the customers and consumers. We have joining us for this conversation on the prospects and problems of the food and beverages industry, the president of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. He is Mr. John Awuni. He joins us via Zoom. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us this morning, sir.
Well, my pleasure.
Well, sir, we are entering into the festive season. In the festive season, everybody buys food. People buy drinks. People will go and share rice to their colleagues, to their friends, to the less privileged, so that they too can celebrate the Christmas and enjoy the feeling of the season. Ahead of the season, what are some of the prospects that your industry is looking at?
Well, generally, thank you for the question, and that's a very good question. Normally, the year generally has not been good for the business sector, particularly the foods and beverages sector, in the sense that we have experienced tremendous depreciation of the Ghana cedi against the US dollar, of which most of the goods are imported in US currency. So many businesses have suffered a lot of exchange losses, which has also led to increases in prices of this food stuff, whether you're talking about rice, talking about chicken, talking about drinks, talking about cookies, and then general pastries. Prices of these goods have been quite high due to massive exchange losses, aside the fact that we have had major high international prices. So in view of that, business has been quite slow, demand has been slow, rate of turnover has been slow. And so towards the Christmas season, it is normally the season that many businesses expect that there would be a recoup of some of the losses that they have made during the year. So the hope of many players in the food and beverage sector towards this end of year is that we will make good sales, the exchange rate will stabilize, We have currently seen that fuel prices are on the decline, and which is good. And we are generally we have a lot of goods in the market. There's no shortage of goods, but the major issue, Abena, is the prices are very, very, very high. Ghanaians will have to struggle a lot to be able to afford chicken, afford the rice, afford the drinks and the general pastries that you normally will buy. And so the prospects are kind of quite bleak, but we are hoping that something can be done by the government, as it has been done in some neighboring countries and other parts of the world, so that the businesses will recoup their losses and families will also be able to relax and enjoy during the Christmas season. Much to say, you see that you have heard about the fact that in the northern sector of the country that produces over 60% of the food basket for this country are suffering from serious drought, major drought, which has affected maize, it has affected beans, it has affected rice, and these are major staples, and that will eventually affect the prices of these goods in the market. As we speak now, the local bag of maize in Tamale, where it is produced, is about 700 Ghana cedis. And last year, by now, it was less than that, about 400, 500. But now we are talking about 700 Ghana cedis. As we speak now, the issue is that there's lack of yellow maize, lack of maize even in the market for the poultry sector. As we speak now, a minimum, the cheapest bag of rice for 50 kilo is 850 cedis. And as you know, there are many Ghanaians, average Ghanaians, whose salaries are hovering between 400, 500, 600 cedis. Those who earn on the average, we are talking about the security men who also have wives, who have children. We are talking about drivers. We are talking about waiters. We are talking about waitresses. We are talking about the foot soldier, as we are in the political season, those we call foot soldiers. We are talking about incomes of the foot soldiers. And many of their monthly income cannot even afford them a bag of rice, which is the cheapest bag of rice. Not to talk about a bed of local chicken that is an average of 1.2 kilos, that is over 100 cedis. And not to talk about a crate of drink, what is talking about club beer, that is over 100 cedis. And not to talk about oil and many other things. And so this is not looking good for the average Ghanaian going towards Christmas, and also not looking good for the businessman going towards Christmas. And there needs to be a turnaround, and that is the prayer of industry, that is the prayer of investors, that they can be able to recoup, and also a prayer that the exchange rate will stabilize. Because each time it goes down, even by some pesos, and you are dealing with in millions, then, or in volumes for that matter, you realize that if it goes down even by 0.5% or 0.2%, you will be dealing with exchange losses in the millions of dollars. And so that is really a border, a major border for industry and a major border for the average Ghanaian.
So as a border for the industry and the average Ghanaian, however the border goes, we will still get into the Christmas and we'll still need to buy things. Have you put in place some measures that will also help us to buy? Because if we don't buy, the goods will be in the warehouses and will continue to be there. You want them to go, and we as customers also want them to come to us. How are you going to meet the customer halfway so that it will benefit the buyer and the seller?
Well, that's a good question. Our prayer, as you heard, that there's a looming food crisis because of the drought. And also, number two, the prices are very high due to no fault of the sellers, not because they want to make a supernormal profits and therefore they have hiked their prices. No. In fact, many players in the industry thrive on volumes. And volumes comes about through low prices. So you make a margin of 5 cedis, 10 cedis on a bag of rice or maize, and then you can be able to sell in volumes. For the poultry sector, we are about 4 months into the, 4 months into the Christmas season, and there is no maize. So if there is no maize, and then even a few bags of the maize that are available in the north currently sell at 700 cedis, how are they going to afford this maize or even access this maize to be able to feed the birds and prepare the birds for Christmas? So you may get to Christmas and the birds may not be available. And if those that are the few that may be available, the prices may be very, very high. Just a few days ago, I was talking with some of the major producers of poultry, and they say that, oh, Mr. Awuni, no maize, no maize, no maize. And so what we are looking forward, and I have spoken about it in about last week or 2 weeks, and the next week I think that we will be talking about that one again, that the Minister of Agri in 2007, when food prices were very high across the globe, the Arab Spring, most of the Arab countries could not even afford bread, and there were strikes and all over. What the then president, His Excellency President J.O. Kufuor did was to remove duties on these staples and let those goods that were there be imported, or those goods that were in bonded warehouse be ex-warehouse duty-free. And when they are ex-warehouse duty-free, the prices will immediately drop by the margin of the duty. So if the duty is 30%, the prices at the marketplace will drop by 30%. If the duty is 50%, prices will drop by 50%. And it did happen. And there are people in this country that can attest to that. There is data available on the net that can attest to that. So players in the industry imported rice, ex-warehouse rice from the warehouses duty-free. Then they also, the government then also placed a ban on the re-exports of same goods out of the country, meaning that the Sahelian countries and many other places that come in to buy our foodstuff and go out, they will not be able to access them. So they secure these goods for the ordinary Ghanaians. And towards the Christmas season, things were very affordable for Ghanaians in the 2007 year into the new year 2008. So as it is, the same scenario is playing back. I have seen the government of Nigeria, where Nigerians can hardly afford rice and even their favorite gari. The Nigerian government has across board removed the duties on rice and chicken and all that, and have allowed same goods to be imported duty-free across board. He has allowed that they have taken it out without discrimination, without selective preference, and then all that. And every player in the industry will bring these goods in duty-free, and same will be sold to customers, and customers will access it. And so I've appealed to the government, I've appealed particularly to the Minister of Agri, particularly when I heard about the shortage of the food in the area, shortage of the drought in the northern sector, and also the lingering shortage of food in the market, emanating from the problem of the northern sector. When I heard about that, we and the government talked about the fact that they were going ahead to take money from the consolidated fund and then import rice and maize and then all that. I don't think that it is the work of government at this point in time where they are struggling with money, struggling for money. Investors, money are locked up and they cannot even enjoy the Christmas. So if you have money to withdraw from consolidated funds and import rice or import maize, that is not your duty.
Hello, Mr. Awuni. Hello, Mr. Awuni. Well, we are having a few technical challenges establishing contact with Mr. Awuni. We would do well to establish contact with him and then continue the conversation. But the conversation has been about the prospects and the problems of the food and beverages industry ahead of the Christmas season, of all the festive season. And like he said, the problems far outweigh the prospects of the industry because of the instability of the cedi against the dollar and issues like drought in northern Ghana. During Christmas, we eat a lot of chicken. All of us will eat chicken during Christmas, especially the locally bred chicken, the chicken from our poultry farms. We would like to slaughter them and then use them for our soups especially. However, at this moment, the maize required to feed the poultry, there are issues with it, so no maize for the poultry. This poses a significant issue to the farmers and also to consumers because it means that we are going to buy them at more expensive prices than we used to buy them. Rice will be expensive. Drinks that they import into the country will be expensive. So at various angles, we are facing some challenges ahead of the Christmas. And Mr. Awuni has said that he's making an appeal to government for government to step into the situation and mitigate the situation for the suppliers, the wholesalers, the farmers. Mr. Awuni is back on the line to continue his submission. Mr. Awuni, you're welcome back.
Has lifted duties across board for these staples and allowed same goods to be imported duty-free. We are making an appeal to the Minister of Agric to also do same as His Excellency President Kufuor did in 2007 when same scenario played. So we are asking that let duties be removed across board, unlike what the current Minister of Agric is trying to do, as I've heard. They are trying to withdraw money from consolidated funds and import rice and import maize by themselves. It is no work of government in a mixed state to do something like that, more especially when the government is struggling for money. If the government has money, let them use that money to pay the investors whose funds are locked up in various fund management companies and allow the private sector to do the work. The private sector whose business is already the importation and trading in these goods can do it and do it better at no cost to government. So let the duties be removed and let the players import same goods at duty free and then sell them to the government and sell them to the to customers. If the duty is 50%, if the cost of duty is 50% of the goods, prices will reflect same in the market. And the Nigerian government has shown the way, and we think that the Ghanaian government must do the same. The Minister of Agric, as I've heard, trying to do selective or discrimination to get some friends to help him import this rice. And the usual thing is that they were expecting their cut. If you go and choose any player to partner you so that you can get your cut and bring in these goods, you only will bring them in, and they will not be able to. The players will not be able to sell it because it will be of no effect because the cost of the duty is what maybe the facilitators will take. The government facilitators will take, and I know very well that in 2006, 2007, the same thing happened. And when they allowed maize to be imported, they selected some few people to bring in maize. They brought in the maize, and the relevant people got their cards, and then the maize could not be sold. It was left in the warehouses rotten. And we don't want same to be done. At this point in time, we are talking about consumer benefit towards the Christmas. And the only way the consumer can benefit is when the prices are low. The only way the investor and the businessman can recoup their losses is when prices are low and sales can go and high, and the rate of turnover will go higher. So we are saying that let the Minister of Agri remove duties across board. Let every player in the industry bring in the rice, bring in the maize, duty free, and ensure that sale do not be re-exported. Yes, they have already taken one leg. As we are all aware that goods in Ghana they should not be exported back. No goods should be exported. So they are not allowing exports, particularly local goods, to be exported. Now it is time for them to remove the duty across board. Let the duty be removed and let people remove import or warehouse the goods in the warehouses duty free just for the period of the Christmas into the new year. And then afterwards, the government can go back, because at this point in time, we need revenue seriously they need to mobilize revenue seriously for development. But we are talking about lives. We are talking about towards the Christmas, and the opportune time also has come where the northern sector is suffering. So the government can the only intervention the government can do is to remove the duty for across board, for every player to bring it in, rather than taking one or two friends and saying that, come, we will give you money, and we are taking money from consolidated fund. Take that money from consolidated fund, pay the investors' money, which has been locked up since 2017, and let them be able also for once, since 2017, be able to enjoy the Christmas. Some of them are looking forward to that money to pay their medical bills. Some of them are looking for that money to pay their school fees. So it is not about time for you to see that, yes, there's food shortage, and so you want to import, and then you cannot make money yourself. That is greed, and that is wickedness. So I will appeal to the government. Let them remove duty across board. The Nigerian government has done it, and it's currently happening in Nigeria. The citizens are happy. 2007, His Excellency the President did it. And then the people were happy. We were all happy. Citizens and then Christmas celebrants alike, all were happy. It is time for this current government the people in charge to put away greed and remove the duties across board, rather than calling one or two friends to come and let them import so that they can get their cut. I think they have had enough, and they should allow Ghanaians, ordinary Ghanaians, to also enjoy this Christmas.
Okay, Mr. Awuni, you mentioned government should release funds for your members whose funds were locked up with their fund managers.
I didn't say government to release funds.
No.
Yes.
Whose funds were locked up with their fund?
I said that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go on.
Yeah. Please. I said that the government, instead of trying to withdraw money from consolidated fund, 500 million or so, from consolidated fund and import rice or maize. It is not their work to import rice or maize. It is their work to remove duties and let the players import the rice who are already in it, who import the rice at no cost to the government. Right. And let them take that 500 million, and pay individuals and institutions whose funds are locked up and they have been suffering since 2017.
So, sir, it's the locked up funds that I was coming to say that earlier this week, government has directed the Ministry of Finance to release the funds that were locked up with the fund managers. So that was what I was bringing your attention to. Beyond that, indeed, we heard about you talking about... Yes, sir. You wanted to say?
No, but I'm very much aware about...
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say that I'm aware about the government asking that funds to be released. The funds for players to be fully paid is about 4.5 million cedis.
All right.
The funds the government has released for this, for the payment, is 1.5. Even the 1.5 billion they have released, they have currently sent out only 700 million cedis to the Security Exchange Commission to pay to the investors. Each investor is going to get like 50,000 cedis. So assume Abena, your 1 million Ghana cedis is locked up in there, and they end up giving you 15,000 cedis. It's not an insult. It is a major insult, and they are even going to get citizens and the investors even more angry. So what they are doing is just like a political plot to get people to vote for them by releasing the money in tranches. You have released 1.5, which will not even be enough for all the people whose funds are locked up. And now you have not even sent all the 1.5 billion all out. You have sent 700 out, and then also now you are sending, you say later on towards Christmas, you send 400 and send 400. Even that one will not wipe out the entire locked up fund. And then again, they must recognize that the institutions where these people's funds are locked up were not illegal institutions. At the time that these investors put their money in those institutions, the interest rate they were getting at that time was like 20, 22, 23, maximum 25%. And they called that the people were greedy and they wanted to get on reasonable interest rate. Currently, treasury bills is about, some treasury bill rates is about, as around that rate. Is that greedy? Is that abnormal for those people who are buying treasury bills, if you call that? And then again, you say that you are not, the government is not responsible. And I'm particularly upset with the finance minister to say that investors must be responsible for whatever they did. But now we are going towards Christmas, and many people's lives have been lost due to this investments. And then you, government that is supposed to be responsible for these institutions, say that you are not responsible as an investor. What kind of thinking is that? What kind of insensitivity is that? That people have died because of their locked up funds. People are not able to celebrate Christmas because of their locked up funds. People's children have dropped out of school because of their locked up funds. And the monies are not locked up in illegal institutions. Security and Exchange Commissions, where were they? They are supposed to regulate. The regulators were there.
We'll discuss this further. We will discuss this further, but we thank you for throwing a lot of light on the foods and beverages industry ahead of the Christmas. Mr. John Awuni is the president of the Foods and Beverages Association of Ghana, and he joined us on Business Fix by throwing more light on their prospects and problems ahead of the elections and ahead of the festive season. So this has been Business Fix on ABC in the morning. Up next is our main discussion. We will be looking at a very important topic. Stay with us.
Attention business owners, it's time to take your business to the next level with ABC News GH Television's mega promo. From August 1st to October 31st, 2024, we're offering you unbeatable deals to advertise your products and services. Don't miss out on this amazing chance to reach more people and grow your brand. For more details, give us a call on 050-993-0360. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Follow us on social media at ABC News GH _. Attention business owners, it's time to take your business to the next level with ABC News GH Television's mega promo. From August 1st to October 31st, 2024, we're offering you unbeatable deals.
You're still watching ABC in the morning. Today we are looking at the NDC's demonstration against the Electoral Commission. They call it the Enough is Enough demonstration. When someone says enough is enough, it means that they are fed up, they are tired. They are not, they have reached their limits, they've reached their breaking point. So it seems the NDC has reached their breaking point with the Electoral Commission, and because of that, they have hit the streets, not just the streets of Accra, but across the nation, where they are telling the EC that respond to our concerns, address our concerns. The response you gave us earlier isn't what we want, isn't what we need, and doesn't sit well with us. So this time we are hitting the streets. If talking to you is not enough, then we would make noise outside so that people know that this is what is happening. So today's demonstration, the NDC calls it Enough is Enough, and the demonstration is because of the voters register ahead of the elections. The NDC believes that the voters register is bloated, it contains ghost names. The voters register isn't what we should take into the election, so have called for a forensic audit into the register ahead of the elections. They say that this register, it needs to be audited, and not just audited, it has to be done forensically, and they're looking at external auditors even auditing it. And people, a section of the public, believe that in doing that you are trying to say that the Electoral Commission isn't on top of their game, because why do we need other people from other places to join us? Today, the demonstration started from Obra Sports in Circle in Accra. Understand that before this demonstration, the EC called the NDCs asking for the forensic audit as misguided and premature. The EC believes that they have done a yeoman's job. They have done everything in order for the register to be exhibited. Especially, they are looking at the fact that mandated by law, they have done all that they have to do. But the NDC is seemingly not okay with the length at which the EC has gone. So the NDC believes that the EC can do better, and in doing better, they have hit the streets, and they are saying that enough is enough. You would realize that for every power for every party in power, it seems that they are always okay with the Electoral Commission of the day, and the Electoral Commission can do no wrong in their eyes. So for the NDC in 2016, they were okay with the Electoral Commission that was led by Charlotte Osei. And this year, they are not okay with the Electoral Commission, which is led by Jean Mensah, and are asking that something be done to the voters register. Yesterday, we spoke with the NPP's spokesperson on governance, Palgrave Boachidankwa, and he said that it is not as if they are silent on the issues that are happening. They have also raised whatever concerns must be raised. They are also addressing issues, but maybe they are not doing it like the NDC is doing, where the NDC is trumpeting it out loud and going on a speaking spree. The NPP, whatever issues they have identified, are addressing it with the EC as best as can be addressed. So the NPP says that it is not like they are sitting aloof and saying that everything is as crisp as it should be, but they are also looking at, they say that the NPP is focused and they are not silent over the voter register irregularities. And Palgrave Brachidankwa is the person who said that yesterday when we had a conversation with them. The NDC says that it is enough. Enough is enough. They've had it up to the neck, and the EC must address their concerns. So in this so the NDC says that in going on this demonstration, they are going to present their petition, one, to the Speaker of Parliament, and after that, to the Commissioner of the Electoral Commission. They will be doing that too. So they are not just going on the demonstration and then singing, showing their placards, holding hands in solidarity to show that they are not happy with the EC. However, they will be sending a petition to the Speaker of Parliament to let the Speaker of Parliament understand that this is what the EC is doing, this is what the Commissioner is doing, and they are not happy about it. After that, they will go and see the Commissioner herself and let her know that, Commissioner, enough is enough. We are not happy with what is happening. Yesterday, we spoke with the convener for the Comenda Sugar Factory and for the concerned citizens of Comenda, who also are looking at demonstrating against the lease agreement that government has gone into with an Indian firm to come and take over the control and management of the Comenda Sugar Factory, Samuel Audi. And he said that they will be joining the Enough is Enough demonstration. So this demonstration won't just be about the elections, but for the people of Comenda, the concerned citizens of Comenda, this demonstration also goes to tell government that what is happening in Comenda isn't what they like. They don't want it. They don't like it. Our colleague is on the ground. Samuel Nimagbo is on the ground. But before we will speak with Sami, before we speak with him, the national chairman of the NDC, Esiedun Ketia, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, popularly known as General Mosquito, has been addressing the demonstrators. He has been addressing the NDC at the demonstration, and we will listen to what he has said so far.
Freedom. Let me tell you, freedom itself is not free. You've got to fight for it. Democracy cannot thrive on the backs of docile citizens. We must be actively participants in the democracy of this country. And we want nothing, a transparent election that will guarantee our right to choose our leaders. Without the right of self-determination, democracy is hollow. And every democracy at one point in time must be tested. Ghana democracy is under serious threat now, and we want to prevail. We shall overcome. Every democracy has the right of producing a tyrant, but not just the resilience of that democracy, its ability to fight the tyrant and defeat him and install democracy once again. It is today that our democracy is being subjected with the test, and we shall prevail. Democracy lovers shall prevail. Elections alone does not guarantee democracy. It is democratic minded persons, democratic minded citizens who are ready to fight for their rights, who can guarantee democracy. Once upon a time, when this country was under colonialism, our leaders like Osage Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, like the Adese of Brown people, they got up and decided to fight so that those of us can
Answer me. Answer me. I can answer. FBC was part of it. So Jimensa was still exit for that.
We just heard from Johnson Esiedun Ketia. He is the chairman of the NDC, and he said that the NDC is going to be vigilant in these elections, very vigilant, and from their end they are looking at staying very vigilant to make sure that no discrepancies are faced during the elections. But after him, before you came back to the studio, you saw Dr. Mane Boama, who is the director in charge of elections for the NDC, addressing the media before they started with the demonstration. In 2016, you would recall that the NPP made similar requests. In 2016, the NPP said that they were demanding a new voters register. I said earlier that it seems the party in power is always friends with the EC. The party in power is always okay with what the EC is doing, and then the opposition always has issues with the Electoral Commission. Is it the comfortability of incumbency that causes that? Is it that because I'm the one in charge, I'm the one in the seat at the moment, the EC could do no wrong in my eyes? So we see it 4 years in, 4 years out. The opposition always comes out to demand something from the EC, always finds a certain inconsistency with the voters register, always finds discrepancies with the work that the Electoral Commission does. And in 2016, we saw that the NPP requested for a new voters register from the Electoral Commission because they were not satisfied with the voters register. And we are seeing that again this year, 2024. The NDC is also not satisfied with the voters register. They are not okay with the voters register. That's why they are seeking a forensic audit on the voters register even before we go into the elections. I missed all of the explanations the Electoral Commission has given on this voters register and why the voters register is good, why the voters register needs no forensic audit. The NDC still says that they are not comfortable or they are not okay with what they have heard so far. So let's go back to 2016. Let's take you way back to 2016. This is a throwback to when the MPP also demanded a new voters register from the Electoral Commission.
Across the 10 regions, it is beginning to up the tension in the system. The Christian Council of Ghana should not sit down and only be interested in people signing peace accord when those held and gifted with the responsibility to ensure a free, fair, transparent elections are derelict on their duties. Peace accords on paper on itself cannot provide us with a transparent election. What is sad for us in the MPP youth wing is what has been lost in the narrative. There's this whole peace industry in Ghana. Peace industry. But nobody is talking about the fairness, the transparency. It's not enough for the electoral commissioner to go to church and say she's praying, God gives us a leader. When some of the posture and utterances of the EC seems to suggest that they have a favorite in the election. When the electoral commissioner can say that when the elections is becoming too close, I'll call for a recount. My goodness. You are a referee, you are not a player. And sometimes the electoral commission behaves like a team protesting against an unqualified player. When you are supposed to be the referee in the game. It's when I'm contesting my brother here and I am aggrieved with the result, and I'll call for a recount. These things cannot pass without the Peace Council, the Christian Council, our Muslim Council and Mission to not commenting on it. Elections is not an event, it's a process. From the process 1 to the process 2 to the process 3.
This feels like a deja vu, you know. In 2016, the NPP were saying exactly what the NDC is saying this year. This year, NDC says that they were not going to sign the Peace Pact. They have hit hard on the Peace Council. And in 2016, the NPP did say that was Sami Ewuku, he former youth organizer of the NPP. And you see the confidence with which he was speaking, the passion with which he was speaking. He had so much passion in his speech, speaking against the EC because they were not confident in the Electoral Commission. They were not confident in the Electoral Commission's voters register ahead of the elections. And some of the things they trumpeted in 2016 are the same things that have been trumpeted this year. Do we say that these things are real, these things are true, or it is what the opposition always wants to do? Are some of their demands, their needs, are they things that are actually true? Are they really, really true? Or is because I am a part of the opposition, this is what I should say, in a way to discredit the EC? Let's think about that, especially as they mentioned the Peace Council. We have Peace Council Executive Secretary George Amo joining us for a conversation. Their name always comes up anytime we are going for elections. Every election year, you hear the name of the Peace Council, and people say a lot. But before we go to George Amo, the EC also said that this demonstration is not going to change anything that the Electoral Commission is doing. Let's look at what the EC says.
While the Commission did not reject the proposal for a forensic audit of the register, the question is, what purpose will a forensic audit serve? The NDC's detection of discrepancies with the provisional voters register is not new, as the Commission has maintained that is the essence of the exhibition exercise. It is to correct discrepancies. This is what is being done, as has been the case in the past. It is not new. Then the Commission is of the view that the forensic audit is not what is needed at this time. It is premature. The EC assured the NDC during the meeting that it would conduct a thorough investigation and report on the issues they had detected within a week. Why are they refusing to submit the data to enable the EC to investigate and provide a report? The EC believes that the best way to ascertain the credibility and integrity of the 2024 voters register is the discussion table, not on the streets. Taking to the streets.
Well, The Electoral Commission says that what the NDC is demanding is nothing new. I asked that before we went. Is it that every 4 years we regurgitate the same thing? Is it that every 4 years the opposition in power will have something? The opposition will have something to say against the EC. But we have George Amo, who is the Executive Secretary for the Peace Council, whose name has been in this conversation since it started. Good morning, George.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us, sir. Fine, thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. As a Peace Council, your name has been top of the list since the election conversation started. What are your thoughts on these things that are happening? You're a major stakeholder in this election process, and the two major political parties have raised their own concerns over certain issues. Paramount now is the NDC's issue with the EC. What is the position of the Peace Council? How are you working to make sure that things go well during the elections?
I think I didn't ask your name.
My name is Abuna, sir.
Yeah, Abuna, good. So, Abuna, I think that as you rightly said, we have been in this cycle for quite some time now. I think a little over 30 years. Some of us were young when we started. The story hasn't changed much since 1992. It has always been a feature for opposition parties who want to have to raise concern. It has always been the position of those in government to always sort of be comfortable. What we have been doing is to ensure that we are able to meet the standards, the basic standards for election processes to happen. And that is where the focus should be for all of us in stakeholders in the election cycle. We have to do all that is possible to ensure there is transparency at every stage of the way, before and after. We have to ensure there's openness, that light is thrown on every activity, so that nobody would have cause to argue about the outcomes of the elections we are going to have, or any other election. So it is important we ensure there is transparency, there is openness, there is leadership that is showing integrity and accountability. I mean, these are non-negotiable if you want elections to be acceptable to all the parties. So all of us have responsibilities. These things I've said do not only lie in the bottom of the electoral management body. It lies both in the political actors as well, and all other stakeholders, including even you yourself, the media. We have to ensure that we shape this country to the Ghana we all want to see after December. And everybody has a duty. Every Ghanaian has a role to play. The political parties, despite the fact that they have to demand accountability, they can also be at the supply side of accountability. If you go out to raise awareness about the how to vote, how do we calculate election results, how do we comport ourselves during the voting and after the voting, all these things can be done by the political stakeholders as well, to ensure we have a very transparent, accountable process. The Electoral Commission has a role to play. If they're able to play that well, which I think they are doing quite well, then all of us, the Peace Council, we also ensure we do the awareness raising, the National Commission for Civic Education also doing theirs. I think together, then we are making moves to ensure we get the outcome that we all will be happy about.
Has the Peace Council engaged the Electoral Commission, especially as the NDC has raised concerns about the voters register? The NDC says that they do not trust the voters register, and if you don't trust something, it means that you cannot engage it in something that is going to elect somebody as important as the president. So has the Peace Council been in talks with the Electoral Commission to also see to also maybe have a conversation with them on the NDC's requests?
Yeah, we have had a number of them in several ways. We have been engaging the Electoral Commission on regular basis. So we have said we have engaged on the demands by the NDC. Some of them we've been able to meet. You remember the NDC boycotted the Inter-Party Advisory Committee. At least the NDC is back to that. You see, so we have been doing this for some time now. And I think that it is yielding some results, but you know that institutions have their individual mandates. You, for example, I can't come there to direct the way you handle your news, or if your staff are not happy, I can just draw attention to it. You see, so the institutional responsibility and mandate also define the way people would also handle a matter that is brought to their attention. So that is it. We keep engaging. Our doors have been open. We keep engaging the IG. We keep engaging the EC. We keep engaging the judiciary and all other stakeholders who have some role to play in the coming elections. The media, for example, we keep engaging you. Just about 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting with editors here in Accra, and in the northern parts of Ghana, we are engaging them. So we'll keep doing that.
Okay, Mr. Amo, in your earlier submission, you said that these are the basic standards that we should be looking at to ensure transparency, to ensure openness, to ensure that leadership shows integrity and accountability, so that we can shift the country to the Ghana that we all want to see. In ensuring all of these things, Peace Council stands tall in ensuring that our elections are peaceful, as your name suggests. What are you going to do as a council that we very much respect in this country, to ensure that by the end of this 2024 elections, the elections is devoid of violence?
Yes, we have not slept on our job since 2020 after the elections. Those areas where difficulties occur, we've tried to engage them. All the parties involved, we've done that. We've been able to secure the endorsement of all the political parties for a decent campaign. Indeed, in July this year, all the 11 registered political parties endorsed to a code of conduct that the Peace Council, together with the NDC and NPP, developed ahead of 2020 elections. So we have done that, and they have endorsed them. The records are there. If you go to our website, you will see a copy of the endorsement form. You know, so we have also been moving around, dialoguing with the people of this country. Together with UNOWAS, we've done that. It's still ongoing. Next month, we are going to go to Ho and Cape Coast. We are done with Tamale, and we are done with Kumasi. We are also working together with ECOWAS. Last week and the week before, we met almost all the key stakeholders here in Accra. We have been engaging the security agencies. We've met with the IGP. We've met with the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff. We've met with the Chief Justice. We've met with the media, as I've told you. You know, so we are doing all these things to mobilize forces that will help us achieve the Ghana that is at peace with itself after the December election. And what we are doing together with you is also part of it. Yesterday, we met with the constituents of the National Peace Council board. And these are made up of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, the Christian Council, the Ghana Pentecostal Council, the Ghana Charismatic Council, the Ahmadiyya Mission, the, what do you call it, Al-Sunnah, the Tijaniya, the civil society groups. We have done all this. We are trying to galvanize forces to counter, any threat of violence against the coming election. So that is what the Peace Council can do. Our mandate is to facilitate and develop mechanisms to prevent conflict, to manage conflict, and to resolve conflict. The end result is that we keep our country in a sustainable peace path, and that is what we are doing with all the activities we are doing. So awareness raising, we are there. I invite you. On Friday, we are marking the International Day of Peace together with the UN and its agencies. We'll be at Kofi Annan. It's all part of the awareness, the consciousness we want to raise for a peaceful Ghana. This is the country we all have. We cannot run away to the coast. If we run to the south, we are getting to the sea. I'm not sure most of us will come back from the sea. If you run to the north, remember that the what do you call it? The Islamist groupings, the violent extremists are all over the place. Those who would want to disturb the peace are lurking around those areas, and we don't want to go that place. La Côte d'Ivoire, I'm not sure you want to go there. They are still grappling with difficulties in terms of ensuring sustainable democracy. To our eastern border with Togo, they cannot go. So this is the country we have. We have to do all within our power to resist any attempt from anywhere, whether from within or from without, to break the peace we have.
Okay.
I hope you are there. I'm done.
Yes, I'm here, sir. Sir, as a Peace Council, almost every 4 years, one of the political parties throws jabs at you. They come at you because they believe that you are not doing your work as adequately as you should. Very paramount in the conversation has been, it's not all about peace. And that's what we hear a lot. As a Peace Council, how do you put yourselves together in order to still stand and then do what you have to do, and then make sure that the mandate for which you stand still works?
Thank you. I think as humans as we are evolving. Every human being is an evolving entity. We grow. Is that what it is? So your media house is growing. It will start from the baby stage or the embryonic stage. You grow into. We all grow. So we will not claim perfection as a peace institution, but I think what I know is that we are doing all that we can, resources that we can, to ensure we attain the mandate that the country Ghana has given to us to execute. Your media house cannot, I'm not sure you can claim perfection. You're all growing. So people would continue to make those commentaries. We are not against them, but we think that when you want to criticize, you criticize constructively. The end result that you should have in mind when you are criticizing anybody is to have a better person, if it's an individual, or a better institution after your criticism. So we expect that people should criticize us, but we also expect that the criticism should be constructive enough to make the institution grow and not to destroy it. We know the difficulties associated with this work, and we embrace the challenge. So we would welcome any criticism, but all that we ask for is that they should be to build and not to destroy, and that we welcome every shade of opinion about us. But I think that anybody who has cared to follow the Peace Council will know that we are growing and growing very strong.
Okay.
We have become a model not only for West Africa, but I can tell you for Africa and for beyond. I was with somebody, and the person was asking, United States of America doesn't have a kind of a model that we have. The United Kingdom doesn't have it. So let us protect this baby that we have created to support the governance structure of our country. I think we should own it as a people, including your good selves, the media, so that we make the Peace Council grow to do the work that the state has given it to do.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, sir, Mr. George Amoh, thank you for this conversation and for throwing a lot of light on this situation that we are looking at. Mr. George Amoh is the Executive Secretary for the Peace Council. Still on this issue of the voters register, where the NDC today has hit the streets with their Enough is Enough demonstration against the EC, we will be speaking to lawyer Martin Pebu. He is on the line to join us, have a conversation on this. He is a legal practitioner. He is joining us via Zoom. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Thank you for joining us on ABC News GH this morning.
Okay, great. My pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. Sir, you have said that when a new government takes over, you are calling for a reconstitution of the Electoral Commission. Why that, sir?
Oh, so I think my reasons are very obvious. Namely, this EC has shown too much partisanship. Too much partisanship. Look, let's go straight to the point. As we speak now, when President Kufuor actually appointed Etuahine, Salima, and the last batch of and the pastor, the last batch of EC commissioners, Kodeo came out and said, no, those appointments should be revoked. Are you aware?
Sir, please go ahead.
Yes. So Kodeo, which is made up of, is our biggest electoral observer body, right? Yes, they took a decision formally that President Kufuor should terminate those appointments. Why? Because they could see these were party apparatchiks. Actually, I prefer to call them party foot soldiers, right? So MPP naked, MPP members, true and true. So that's one side. So I want us to see that it's not Pebu. I'm not the one just making up things. Before Kodeo comes to such a decision, Kodeo is such a big body made up of religious bodies, CSOs, etc. Let's Google, let's look at the Kodeo membership and leadership. They are not into partisan politics, all right? Yet for them to come out and say that President Kufuor should do this, it tells you that things are not going well. Then number two, look at the current brouhaha over the forensic audit. It's just a simple, harmless request. If the EC is being honest, with all the emphasis I can master on if the EC is being honest. Because, look, as we speak now, please, what's your name again?
Abna. My name is Abna, sir.
Yes, Abna, as we speak now, the EC has added 243,000 persons who did what? A change in the previous elections. It doesn't apply now, yet they've added them to the register. Another figure, 3,957 illegal transfers. If you read CI 127, one of the CIs we use for the elections, Regulation 22 says, if you want to transfer your vote, you, the person, the voter, you make the application to the returning officer. Yet, how did the EC succeed in transferring 3,957? Listen, the way the figure is quite odd. We can just simply, for future references, just say 4,000 voters. Yes, that one is easier to remember because this 3,957. So you need just about, is that 33 or so to make up 4,000. So usually you can round it up and say 4,000 votes. And don't joke, 4,000 can make a difference. How did the EC sit for such an illegal transfer to be done? 4,000 votes. Abner, look at it of 4,000. We are not talking about 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10. You go on. By the time you get to 4,000, you see how you'll be tired. You try counting 4,000. You see how you'll be tired. So the more you get tired, then the more it will sink in that this is a fraudulent EC. Very fraudulent EC. So as soon as that happened, Abner, common sense will tell you that if you don't have a hand in it, then what you do is that, oh yes, political parties come. Here is a register. Look through. That's all you do. If you have no hand in the 4,000 illegal transfer, you just say political parties come. Here, do the forensic audit. Apart from the 4,000, I've already told you the 243,000 who were added wrongly. There's another figure for 2,000, okay, one of the irregularities again. And then another figure for 15,000 that the NDC have explained. The EC has admitted 3 of them. This illegal transfer of votes from Tamale to Pusiga, that's the 4,000. All right? Then that's the 243. Out of this, EC has admitted 3. So the simple point we are making, don't make this so complex. Just let's not make it like, oh, it's lawyers talking, IT people talking. No. This one is ordinary citizens talking. The common sense approach to it, and a lot of the time, common sense is law, is that because certain things have gone wrong, the ones we've mentioned, in order to engender trust, in order to restore trust, open the system. Let a forensic audit be done so that NDC can see, so that Afrofranto, Alan Kojo Chiremante can see, so that all the other political parties can see. That's all. This one is not any technical matter. Every citizen 18 years or above will understand this thing. You are calling them mistakes, but even NDC is calling them criminal conduct. So right now we don't know who is right. NDC is saying criminal conduct because they believe that it is intentional. EC will say mistake because they said it's not intentional. Fine, we can leave that aside. But the simple argument every voter should not find difficult to understand and should not oppose is that because of those problems, do the forensic audit. This one we've not, you see, we are not going to the details. It just means open the register, let NDC with their experts see. You see, the way the systems work is that, let me show you. There are systems for showing that if you send me an email and I open it, there is a way of showing whether I've opened the email or not. I'm just showing you a small example. So the same way the EC register, right, that electronic register, it has features that should be able to show anytime somebody enters the register, it should have a way of recording. What did the person go to do? It should also be there, etc. So NDC wants to see what is in there, and also Alan Kojo Chiremante has joined, also agreeing that they should see what is in there. So please, let's not make this in a complex matter. The simple understanding, the simple explanation of it is that because of the mistakes, so I'm using the EC's words, EC is calling it mistakes. Because of the mistakes that have happened, it has shaken the confidence of a lot of voters and NDC as an institution or as a party in the electoral register. So to restore their confidence, let people see. Fortunately, this is not the first time. You know, in the run-up to the 2016 election, Bawumia came and said there were over 50,000 Togolese voters on the register. There were over 50,000 Togolese voters. Eventually, a committee was set up, and they did the audit of the register. They didn't find those 50,000 Togolese. Yet, people like us were supporting Bawumia because we thought that MPP, being who they are, they know what they are talking about. So that's why I said, but the difference between the 2016 cry, a cry of the wolf that the NDC did, the MPP did, that cry of the wolf, right? When there was no wolf. It's not the same even as this 2024 one. This 2024 one, the difference is that the EC has admitted the mistakes. So if you look at this 2024 one as against the 2016 one that I supported also, you see that this is even a stronger case because the EC itself has admitted 3 of the mistakes. And when I say 3, it's not just 1, 2, 3, involving several thousands of voters. The illegal transfer alone being what? 4,000. Then the 2,000 number, that's the absentee voter register. Then the 15,000. Then the 243,000, which were those who transferred their votes in the last election, but not this one. And then the number has been wrongly added here or criminally added here. So please, that is the simple explanation of this. Let's not go and just keep mentioning forensic audit. Then when people don't understand, they'll be like, what is this? We don't understand. The simple explanation of what is happening is that EC itself admits that there were mistakes. So once there were mistakes, people's confidence in the register has gone down. So to restore confidence, let them see what is in the register. Simple.
Okay. To restore confidence, let them see what is in the register. But the EC has also admitted that indeed there have been some discrepancies. But isn't it necessary that the NDC would rather come to the table, sit with the EC and then go through the motions of what has to be done rather than hit the streets with a demonstration? Because will a demonstration yield the result? The EC has even initially said before the demonstration that this demonstration will not yield any results. So won't it be better for the NDC and be in their own interest as a political party to rather come to the table with the EC and then have a fruitful discussion?
Okay, so a number of answers. One, that this demonstration will not yield any results, then the EC is sorely mistaken. You see, EC doesn't even seem to understand the environment within which they are working. EC is toying with NDC, the biggest opposition party. I told you, that's why I said this EC has to be reconstituted. It will not yield any results. It's already yielding results. When was the last time any political party organized a demo like this across the country? It's already yielding results. I told you this is people, they are incompetent. They don't even understand. They can't even analyze conflict. NDC is on the streets in the whole country, and you're saying it's not yielding any results. It's already showing that this EC are a bunch of incompetents. They don't know jack. Their reputation has been dented. So you see that the 2016 one, when the EC saw that, the thing was the problems with the electoral register, at least with the way MPP made their noise and there were credibility issues, they saw that to restore confidence, they should yield to the MPP's request. And that was done. But this EC, because they are hell-bent on rigging the election, you see, they said no, they won't. That is what is resulting in the demonstration. So a lot is already yielding results. The first result is that this EC's reputation has been dented. But as far as I'm aware, from 92 to now, this is the first EC that we've had a nationwide demonstration. Nationwide, those 16 regions, simultaneously. They are done. This is an incompetent group of EC, one. Then two, you're talking about they should come to the table. NDC hasn't said they will go to the table. The modalities, NDC is saying, let's have an independent person. When they say come to the table, you should understand. EC is saying, come and give me the information. Then I will go and fidget with the register. So NDC will not get to see what is happening in there. Then NDC say, no, let's all sit down. Then we all give the information to an independent person who will go through with us. But the EC is saying, come to the table, give me the information, go home, and I will go and look into the register secretly. 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 That's why you should be understanding. Come and give me the information, and I will go and do it secretly, or go and do it alone. the most important thing is that EC does not intend to open the register in front of NDC and begin to do all the things, input all the things the NDC is talking about, check all the things NDC is talking about. No, not in the presence of NDC. That's what EC is saying. So it's a non-starter. Let the demonstrations continue.
Mr. Pebu, maybe if the NDC came to the table and had certain discussions with the EC, we'll find a better way forward, because the EC has shown commitment in engaging the various political parties and actors at various IPAC meetings. So maybe if the NDC adequately came to the table, a better and a formidable conclusion would be found.
No, I strongly disagree. They already met. They met, and the NDC showed them some of the errors, and then said, so let's go ahead and get an independent person to come into this room with us and then open the register. Please, I'll never look. I'm not. Let me tell you. You see, sometimes sometimes we all make a mistake. NDC, as you see them, they've been in government before. I don't need to say that. They know the things that go on in the EC far better than you and I. If what EC was saying was that reasonable, I'm sure NDC would have taken it. Let's not make that mistake. Come to the table to do what? Nothing. I'm saying that so far, you call EC back and ask them, when you said NDC should come to the table, when they come and give you the information, how do you intend to resolve? Are you going to open the register in the presence of NDC and start fixing? No. So that cable is useless. Coming to sit at the table is useless. They are saying that come and give me the information, go home, and then I will go and deal with my register alone. Just like they're already claiming that they've dealt with some, not all. You see what the EC, last Saturday, I was on TV3 with Bano Bio, the Director of Electoral Services. He said some, not all. Some of the issues have been dealt with. Bosman Asari was on Joy FM News File on Saturday. He too said some. So they've not finished. Now, even the ones they've dealt with, how will we see whether they've done them right or not? How will we see if you don't open the register for an independent person to look through, or if you don't agree to exhibit the register again? Abner, please. So I appreciate devil's advocate, but in this case, the devil's advocate will mislead us. Going to the table will not yield any results if the register will not be open in the presence of NDC. For the audit to be done in the presence of NDC, there's no point. If that will not be done, there's no point going to the table.
Going into the 2024 general elections, you don't trust them to hold a credible election?
Yes, I don't, until the matter is dealt with. So if the forensic audit is done, then their confidence will be restored generally. Either the forensic audit or the EC will agree to re-exhibit, bring out the register, let everybody go and check that there's not been illegal transfer of their votes to other places. It's not only the transfer from Tamale to Pusiga, or the 4,000 votes. No, it's Nafu and then another area. So please, listen, it's very scary. This type of thing has never happened. So let's be very careful about this particular instance. Yes, there has to be either the forensic audit or the exhibition. When we say the exhibition, then that one to be open to the whole public. The register, the various polling stations will be made available wherever everybody registered, so that people will go and double check whether their votes, their registrations are intact, so that we don't want the illegal transfers that happen to happen again. So either you send the register all over the country, that's the exhibition, or then you do the forensic audit. Yeah. As for one of them has to be done. That's non-negotiable. Then you would find, Abner, let's add this at this point. 2016, You can Google. Look, you see Jane Mensah asking for an audit of the electoral register. 2016, Jane Mensah. Let me read some of them to you. Jane Mensah asking for an audit. So what has changed? That now she's in office and there is no need for an audit. You see the hypocrisy.
Could it be that
at the ID, she was screaming for an audit? No, audit the electoral roll. But today she's in charge of the EC, so there's no need to. So let's look at it. Jane Mensah, Peace FM online. 28th October 2015. Engage independent body to audit register. Can you imagine?
Well, sir, you are asking that what has changed. Now she is the head of the EC, so she may be privy to certain information that we may not be privy to, and maybe that could warrant or account for what has changed. And also,
yes,
sir,
so she should demonstrate it. You see, she has not done much to to create a sense of trust in her. So the best thing is show the evidence. Jane Mensah has not done much to get much trust in her, because you see, it's even how she came into the office. I don't know what Jane Mensah knows to be capable of being an EC chairperson. I don't know.
She has conducted a successful election, 2020 election. She conducted it. So if you say that you don't know what she has done to merit her becoming the Electoral Commission, it looks like you are calling her competency into question.
Oh, absolutely. I did it from day one. If you check, right from the time she was nominated, it looked like a joke. Because Jane Mensah hasn't achieved much in life. You say, yes, she's a lawyer. You go and check. What did she do as a lawyer?
So she's your colleague.
This is not new. I've always said this from day one. It's because she's related to Rebecca Akufo-Addo, and then she's MPP.
So I believe that this is quite a personal one. So to say that she has not done anything in life, or she's not established in life, I think that this is a political attack on her. Say, would you kindly withdraw that?
No, I'm not withdrawing. You can end your interview if you want to. This is not the first time. I've said this on Joy FM over all the years. Maybe you've not been following. It's a fair comment. Today, if you Google my name, Martin Kpebu, if you want to see what I've done, if you Google, you will see. You can read. The same way, if you want to see what Jane Mensah is done, you check, as I say, my estimation. She hadn't earned that position on merit. That's my position. I've said this on Joy FM over the years. At the time she was nominated, yes, okay. I've been saying this everywhere. So ABC News, if you find that reprehensible, we can end the interview. It's
beyond. Okay. Sir, in saying that she has not achieved anything in life, you said that, and I believe that, and my viewers will also believe that it is quite harsh on the person of the Electoral Commissioner, sir.
I said she hasn't achieved much to merit this office. When we say Electoral Commissioner, it's one chairperson, it's one office out of 32 million people. So when we want an Electoral Commissioner, we want the best of the best. Look, when MPP was in office, opposition, let me tell you how they said an Electoral Commissioner should be appointed. That advertise the position in the newspapers. Let Ghanaians from all walks of life, various qualifications, apply. Then there will be an independent assessment body that would sit down and review all the applicants or the applications to select some for a final interview. MPP said it, and that through Gabi Ochidako, and that it should even be telecast live. That was the selection process MPP advocated. They didn't want Charlotte Osei to just be handpicked. So you see, when they came, they always said that no, Charlotte Osei wasn't qualified, blah, blah, blah. So you see that we are all yearning for the best of the best. And I'm maintaining that Jane Mensah hasn't done much to have merited that office. That's my opinion.
Well, so Some would believe that with your assertion, that could also be a reason for your calling them incompetent and for having a certain biased mindset against the Electoral Commission.
Oh, it's a political discussion, so why not? Some can analyze it that way. But from day one, please, that one is unassailable. I have said it. I've done my checks. I don't know why she did so much to merit that office. I'm talking about the office of EC chair. Yes, and as I said, it's not that you apply. You can Google and see. The time she was nominated on Joy FM, I said it. I was on Newsfile. I've said it over all the years. And true, that's how we are seeing the results. That's why we are in this chaos. Have you ever seen a nationwide strike against an EC? Have you ever seen such a strike? We are yet. You will see more. Yeah. So it's a democracy. If we don't talk forcefully, we will not do better. So you see that with this kind of cronyism that Akufo-Addo has brought into governance, he's gone way beyond his predecessors. So you see that we've sunk in our democracy. So today, you see that John Mahama that we sacked in 2016 because we thought he wasn't doing well. It's turned out that John Mahama's performance on governance is called, when you finish, you can Google it, Democracy Index. John Mahama is done better than Akufo-Addo. You go to corruption, Google it. You see John Mahama is done better. The corruption one of the easier figures to remember.
Sir, beyond that, before you go, you have staged a demonstration yourself, a one-man demonstration yourself. What were the results of the demonstration you staged? Hello, Mr. Kpebu. Hello, sir. Okay, so that was the legal practitioner, Martin Kpebu. He had a lot to say about the Electoral Commission and today's demonstration by the NDC. The NDC's Enough is Enough demonstration. My colleague, Samuel Magbo, is reporting live from the demonstration grounds, and he joins us to give us feedback from the grounds. Hello, Samuel. Hello, Samuel. Well, we have lost Sammy. We will look at establishing contact with him. But today's conversation is on the NDC's Enough is Enough demonstration. Samuel is back on the line. Good morning, Samuel.
Hello, good morning.
Sammy, what is it on the grounds at the demonstration?
Right, so currently we are on our way from Circle, heading towards the Accra Center, the Central Business Unit of Accra, where tens of thousands of the supporters of the National Democratic Congress have come to the streets of Accra to demonstrate as part of their resisting of the EC's quest not to conduct a forensic audit of the voter register. The road is currently blocked with a lot of people. Movement has become very difficult as thousands of NDC supporters are on the street together with their national chairman. We also have the represented is also leadership of parliament for the minority. The minority leader KCL Atufosin is also on the street demonstrating. This is NDC's Enough is Enough demonstration, as they want to tell the EC, they have told the EC that they want a forensic audit of the voter register. The EC in return says it is not necessary and demonstration will not yield any benefit. The EC during the press has said that the demonstration or going onto the street will not solve the issues with the voter register, but the NDC seems adamant to that and said that no, they also hit the street. And today, as part of the 16 regions, the nationwide demonstration in the 16 regions, Greater Accra being the regional capital of Greater Accra, the supporters of the party, together with the party national executives, have come to the streets of Accra and they are demonstrating. When we spoke to the chairman of the party, and I asked him the question that it seems as though the NDC is holding the whole electoral process to ransom with their demands. It seems as though they are never in agreement with the EC in anything. And he said, no, that's not the case. What they are trying to do is to ensure that they have a credible register they have a credible register as we enter into the 2024 elections come December 7th. So it is not as though the NDC is holding the elections to ransom. However, the NDC wants to see a credible register. And he says that a credible register is better than any other thing. That will guarantee them that the election will be transparent, it will be credible enough for the NDC to even believe the result of the election. So we are on our way heading to the central business unit of Accra. And like I mentioned, we are just taking a foot after the other. You can walk fast. The crowd is so large that you need to flow like a turtle would do. So that is what is currently happening from the grounds here in Greater Accra. We are currently in Adabarka on the Adabarka Highway, on that road from Circle through Adabarka going to the central business unit. From there, the crowd will move towards the national headquarters of the EC to present their petition. The petition also has this main thing as the NDC. The main thing in the petition is number one, they want a forensic audit of the voter register.
Sami, we understand that apart from the EC, the NDC will be presenting the petition to the Speaker of Parliament too. Is that the case?
Please come again.
We understand that apart from the Electoral Commission, the NDC will be presenting a petition to the Speaker of Parliament also. Is that the case?
Yes. The party is also, they would also try to present a petition to the Speaker of Parliament because they believe that conducting a forensic audit is a no-brainer for them, and that Parliament should also come in and use their powers to force or get the EC to agree to a voter, the audit of the voter register. Another question that we asked, I specifically asked the chairman of the party, has been that they've been mentioning that they will engage some developmental partners to conduct this audit. We asked them which developmental partners are they going to engage, and in that question was presented by the Director of Elections for the party, Dr. Omane Boamah, who said that ECOWAS is in agreement with this. He mentioned the UN also being in agreement with it, and other a list of development partners that are ready with the money to conduct an audit of that kind, a forensic audit, to get all the discrepancies in the voter register cleared and make sure that they have a credible register as we head into the election. But as we know, the Electoral Commission is saying that it will not do that because it is not a necessity as things stands now, because all the discrepancies the NDC has identified, the EC says that almost all of them have been resolved.
He spoke with the convener of the Concerned Citizens of Commander. He mentioned that they will be joining the demonstration today. Apart from those people, have you seen any other groups which have joined the demonstration, groups that are not necessarily members of the NDC?
Yes, that is true. In this demonstration, there are a lot of groups. The KIA, remember, ahead of the 2016 election,
Hello, Sami. Okay, we have lost Sami. We will establish contact with Sami shortly. But Sami has said that over tens of thousands of people have joined the demonstration. They have moved from Circle or Brasport on their way to the Accra Business District, where the demonstration will continue. From there, they are looking at presenting the petition to the Commissioner of the Electoral Commission and the Speaker of Parliament. The NDC has said that as for the forensic audit, like Sami said, it is a no-brainer. It is something that must be done. And Sami mentioned that asking the Director of Elections, Dr. Omane Boamah, a question about the developmental partners that they mentioned. Dr. Omane Boamah said that in asking or requesting for the forensic audit, they have the backing of ECOWAS, they have the backing of UN going into the forensic audit. So it is on these grounds that they are very sure that the forensic audit must happen. Let's take a video of the national chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esiedu Nketia, popularly known as General Mosquito.
The masses must rise. The masses must rise and then demand their right. Because you see, you cannot build a democracy in a country where you have docile citizens who are reduced to bystanders and watching. We cannot be spectators. So we must actively participate in the way things are shaped up in between elections. And that is what we are doing. We are perfectly expressing the democracy we fought for. And I have given the warning to the youth of this country that those who want peace must prepare for war. If we are not ready to neutralize those people who are undermining the democracy, you will end up in a war where you, the youth, will have no option. You will be conscripted by force to go and fight and die. We don't want to get there. That is why we are removing the elements that could create that destabilization. You see what is happening in Ukraine. If you are a youth in Ukraine now, whether you like it or not, if you are able-bodied, you are arrested and conscripted by force, given weapons to go and fight and die. We don't want to expose Ghanaian youth in that way. That is why, in a peaceful way, we must demand that those who are leading us into temptation must give way. And that is what this thing is about. We say that, look, you have been given work to do as Electoral Commission. The constitution that you claim gives you independence to act. It is the framework that is given by the people to regulate the power they are given to you. So if you want to declare yourself independent of the constitution that regulates your conduct, then you are on your own. You are not working for the masses. And so the masses must let you know that you are put there to perform a function and you are ultimately responsible. And
that was the chairman of the NDC, General Mosquito, Johnson Esiedu Nketia. He says that we are not raising docile people and says that to actively participate, you must demand from those who are leading us into temptation to give way. And he is speaking to the Electoral Commission. He believes that the Electoral Commission is leading the country into temptation. So this demonstration is a demand for them to give way. The enough demonstration is a demand for the Electoral Commission to give way. Sammy joins us back on the line. Hello, Samuel. Hello, Samuel.
Hello.
Yes, Sammy. We lost you earlier. You were saying.
Yes. So
Sammy.
That, the demonstration, as you heard from the chairman of the party, it's part of their quest to get the EC to conduct the forensic audit of the voter register.
But Sammy, you mentioned that there were other groups.
Demonstration. There's a lot of security presence around here. Heavy security presence, I must say. You can count over 300, 400 policemen around, ensuring that everything goes in accordance. The chairman at the beginning, or before we even started, the demonstration started, also warned the party members not to engage in any act of violence. Actually, he said that if anybody is found of engaging in or inciting any violence, they will hand over the person to the police. So far, everything has been peaceful. The party supporters, the leaders of the party, from parliament to the national executives of the party, are all in their numbers, together with some thousands of supporters of the NDC, who are demanding that the Electoral Commissioner succumb and then conduct the audit of the voter register. Also, we engage the sorry, pardon me. We also engage the director of elections, and at the beginning, even before the demonstration started, and he was saying that EC hasn't been truthful with what is going around. He mentioned that the EC said that the NDC refused to grant them or give them a copy of the discrepancies they have identified with the voter register. However, the Director of Elections, who is a member of the NDC team for IPAC, said that they also demanded the EC to present to them some of the anomalies. It has also corrected, because at the meeting that the NDC had with the Electoral Commission before the filing of the nomination, they also demanded the EC to present to it some discrepancies it has rectified with the voter register before the NDC will also give them they have identified. So the EC refused to give them their request. That's why the EC also refused to grant them the EC request of the discrepancies they've identified with the voter register. He just said that they have cited a memo from the headquarters of the Electoral Commission to the regional offices, where the memo, which he opened to the media for us to read, said that when the Electoral Commissioners at the regional offices receive the petition from the demonstrants of the NDC, they should cease to comment on it. They should not say anything. They should just say that they'll forward everything to the regional headquarters, or to the headquarters, to the national headquarters, rather. So he was saying that is acting in bad faith, because the EC in their meeting said that the problems were in the region. So if there was any place to correct those problems, it should be at the regional headquarters, regional offices, and not at the national level. So when the NDC was expecting that at each region, around the 16 regions, they present a petition to the regional office should respond to them and give them updates as to what they are doing to address this issue. However, the memo from the EC is saying that none of the 16 regional EC heads should comment on it. They should just pass on the information. They should tell the demonstrants that they will pass on the information to the national headquarters, which the NDC finds is very worrying to them. So we are still on the demonstration grounds, still on the road heading to. We are still heading to to
Accra.
Central business unit of Accra. Currently, we are around the Fidelity Bank. If you're on the road, the Adabakar Road, Fidelity Bank, going to the Central business unit of Accra.
Sammy, very popular.
Enough demonstration happening.
Very popular during demonstrations are the placards that the demonstrants hold. They normally have very witty comments. Okay, we have lost Sammy. We hope to establish contact with Sammy again. But Sammy has given us has thrown more light on the demonstration and given us more information. As part of it is a memo that he says has been cited from the national headquarters of the Electoral Commission to the various regional offices, telling them that when they receive the petitions, they should not comment on it, which the NDC has found worrying. Sammy has brought us information on the Enough is Enough demonstration the NDC is embarking on today. At the moment, they are walking from Circle to the Accra Business District, where they will present their petition to the Electoral Commission and also to the Speaker of Parliament. So today's story has been about the NDC. The NDC's Enough is Enough demonstration. They are agitating against the EC's refusal to conduct a forensic audit on the voters register, which will be used in the 2024 general elections. Has been it for our main discussion for the day. Let's look at Happy Hour. So on Politics Today, we look at our politics as a Ghanaian people, what the political sector holds for us, the political economy has for us. And today, we are looking at the political parties and the solutions they have on a certain issue. Let's get into politics today. This morning on Politics Today, we are looking at the NDC and the MPP and the solutions the two political parties are proposing for the menace of Galamsey. We are tackling an issue that goes beyond just the places where Galamsey happens. It affects every facet and fabric of the economy and the people that live in the country. So we are looking at NDC and NPP. They have both put forth their manifestos. Let's look at the manifestos and see what the parties are saying on Galamsey, what the parties want to do about the issue of Galamsey. But before that, the parties have also spoken. The flag bearers of the two political parties have said a lot extensively on this issue of illegal mining. Let's listen to them.
About 1 million people are engaged in small-scale mining in Ghana. Our goal would be to help grow small-scale mining companies into large-scale companies with capacity building and assisting them access finance for acquiring equipment. We intend to create many millionaires in the small-scale mining industry. My government will support the Minerals Commission and key stakeholders to formalize the artisanal and small-scale gold mining sector with the objective of ensuring that activities of the entire value chain are sustainably and responsibly done. About 1 million people are engaged in small-scale mining in Ghana. Our goal would be to help grow small-scale mining.
And will introduce and encourage technological innovation to improve capacity for coordinated monitoring of the small-scale and medium-scale mining sectors in order to reduce the environmental impact. This will include using AI to locate all small-scale mining and Galamsey operations, to be able to track excavators and geofence all concessions to ensure mining operations are not conducted in unapproved areas, especially in water bodies. When we talk about geofencing, there's a technology that allows you to establish what we call virtual boundaries around a concession. And so you can, in real time, see what is happening in the concession. If an excavator enters, you know an excavator has entered. If an excavator leaves, you know an excavator has left. And everything that is being done in the concession, you can monitor it from the Minerals Commission office in real time.
Because if you go to the Galamsey mining areas, many of the young people are involved in Galamsey. They are involved in Galamsey just like when you go to a farming community, others are farming. What is Galamsey? Galamsey is illegal mining. If you legalize it, it is no longer Galamsey. But the business model that the GTP is proposing is that these young men and women, they are already on the ground. They are not going to leave those sites now or in the future. So what the GTP is proposing is that we group these young people into corporate entities, not cooperatives, into well-structured corporate entities. Government provides seed funding for them to acquire the right equipment, modern equipment, provides working capital, not for free, but concessionary loans without collateral for these young people. These young people are going to be the owners of those companies. So because we are building an enterprise economy, all of a sudden, all these Galamsey boys now become owners of youth-owned mining companies. This is capital accumulation for our young people. And government is providing the support for this to happen.
So these are some of the comments from the political parties ahead of the elections. These are some of the things that they are looking at for the people in the small-scale mining. They have touched on Galamsey. The running mate to the vice president and presidential candidate of the NPP, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, says and has called on political parties to sign a pact on Galamsey, a pact that says that we are going to be very stringent on Galamsey. He has called on political parties because he believes that it is the political will that is needed. In doing so, he's already made an establishment or an assertion for the NPP that the NPP will be coming to the table to sign. But he has said that political parties should sign that, and through the challenge to the NDC. So let's watch that too.
4 years ago, the whole countryside were told that MPP force umba umbechichimatu, MPP force umpekala say ourselves, forgetting that there's a difference between small-scale mining and destruction of water bodies and forests. So the church must speak, and the church must speak and be responsible in bringing all presidential candidates to a round table and saying, all commit and go outside and preach, or else we will never vote for you. It cannot be a one-sided affair. It cannot be one becoming responsible and losing an election and one becoming irresponsible, because the person who is irresponsible in illegal mining will become irresponsible in managing the monies and the future of this country. Thank you. 4 years ago, the whole countryside were told that MPP force umba umbechichimatu.
Also, now let's take a look at what the political parties have captured in their manifestos about the issue of small-scale mining and especially Galamsey. So we're looking at the two major political parties head-to-head, the NDC and the NPP. So this is the NDC's 2024 manifesto, and this is under environmental protection. They say that they will strengthen the capacity of institutions to monitor and enforce environmental regulations and standards. They will support the development and implementation of community-based natural resource management initiatives. They will also promote innovative technologies and practices to enhance environmental sustainability and resilience. And finally, they will decentralize regulatory and licensing processes for artisanal miners. So this is what is captured in the NDC's manifesto about our environment: strengthening the capacity of institutions to monitor and enforce environmental regulations. We have so many regulations in this country concerning our environment. It's left with seeing how many of them we enforce, and the NDC is looking at strengthening institutions to be able to monitor and enforce those regulations. They also want to support the development and implementation of community-based natural resource management initiatives. And these will, like the name suggests, community-based. So these things are for specific communities. This way, they have decentralized it. They are looking at promoting innovative technologies and practices which will enhance environmental sustainability and resilience. As a people, we need to use best practices that our environment will benefit from. Sustain the environment. Do not use the environment to a certain point where it is not sustainable anymore, it's unable to give you anything anymore. And finally, they want to decentralize regulatory and licensing processes for artisanal farmers so that where you are, there's a way you can get your license. You don't have to go all the way to Accra for your license. Let's take a look at the NPP's manifesto also. In the NPP's manifesto, under environmental protection, they will usher in a golden age for Ghanaian-owned small-scale mining for wealth and jobs, and promote responsible and sustainable small-scale mining, including addressing illegal small-scale mining by doing these things. A, making available proven reserves data to small-scale miners to help deal with the associated problem of trial and error digging for gold. Most of these miners go to a place, they dig to see if indeed there's gold there. If there's no gold, they've already dug the land, they've dug the ground, and it's not like it was anymore. So the NPP will make available proven reserves data to these persons so that they know where they need to dig instead of doing the trial and error digging that they normally do. The NPP will also simplify the small-scale mining licensing regime, make it very simple so that it's not a cumbersome process for small-scale miners to get their licenses. We know that when you don't receive your license, you're also forced to go and do the work because it's taking too long to do that. NPP is saying that they will simplify the licensing regime for small-scale miners. The NPP again is saying that they will scale up the use of mercury-free gold catcher machine technology, which is less damaging to our environment. We know the adverse effects mercury has on the human body and the system, and NPP saying that they will scale up the use of mercury-free gold catcher machine technology, and it is less damaging to the environment. And finally, the NPP says that they would ensure strict adherence to mining laws and regulations to prevent illegal and improper mining processes. At the moment, there are so many illegal and improper mining practices that the country is facing. Because of this, we see the menace that is ongoing. And the NPP says that they will ensure strict adherence to our mining laws and regulations to prevent illegal and improper mining practices. So we have seen what both the NDC and the NPP have for mining and the environment in the country. We are hoping that the issue of Galamsey, the menace and the problems that we are facing as a country and as a people will be tackled and tackled swiftly so that it doesn't get worse than it already is. So this is what we have brought to you on Politics Today, where we have looked at the NPP and the NDC's manifestos on mining. Time on ABC in the morning. Today has been a day when we've looked at the banking sector. For our front story, we looked at the fraud that is imminent in the banking sector. We spoke with a banking consultant who also gave us his knowledge on the banking sector and how we can reduce fraud in the banking sector. The NDC is on a demonstration today, and for that we held that on our main discussion. Their demonstration is called the Enough is Enough demonstration, where they are hitting on the EC to conduct a forensic audit of the voters register ahead of the 2024 elections. On Ghana Speaks, where I say and we say that your voice matters, we went to the Ablekuma Central constituency where we heard from constituents ahead of the elections. And on Business Fix, we looked at the problems and prospects of the food and beverages industry ahead of the festive season. We spoke to the president of the Foods and Beverages Association on Ghana. And on Politics Today, we have looked at the two manifestos of the major political parties in this country. We are assessing their manifestos on environment and illegal mining. So this has been ABC in the morning. Thank you for joining us. It's been great having you on the show this morning. But before we go, for more news, you should visit our website www.abcnewsgh.com and interact with us on social media at abcnewsgh_. Our WhatsApp lines are always open for your comments, for your suggestions, and it's 050-993-0360, 050-993-0360. Get in touch with us. My name is Abna. Thank you for joining us on ABC in the Morning. ABC Midday News comes up shortly.